Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the InterSim Esports Network for your Friday night. Tonight brings us to Fort Worth, Texas, and that's right, you guessed it, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series at the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. My name's Aidan Schultz, and joining me in the booth as special guest once again tonight, good to see you here, Peter Gretton.
Yeah, good morning, Aidan, to all the viewers and PJ behind the buttons. Going to be another good night of racing here tonight. I'm not too knowledgeable about this track, Aidan, but it's going to be some racing, some good racing rather. It's quite a stacked field here tonight, so it's going to be a good night.
Definitely is there, Peter, and going to be a great night of racing. If it's anything what we saw for round one, it definitely will be action-packed tonight. I had the pleasure of meeting up or catching up with one of our drivers earlier on today to give you a little bit of an insight into the drivers that race in this series. We'll be bringing that to you each and every broadcast. And Greg Spencer was the one I caught up with this morning, so we'll let you have a listen to that chat before we get into qualifying. I'm lucky enough to have with me the Pinnacle Esports number 29 Chevrolet pilot, Mr. Greg Spencer. How are you, Greg?
Yeah, good day, mate. Good.
Mate, thanks for joining me for a little bit of a chat outside of broadcasting and to let the viewers here on the InterSim Esports Network get a little bit of insight into what is Greg Spencer, mate. So thank you for your time.
Yeah, no problem, mate. No problem. Could be a bit scary, but anyway, let's go.
Mate, nothing scary about talking to me. Just pretend we're having a chat over a couple of beers. You'll be right. Mate, just firstly, what got you into iRacing, mate?
Mate, it's funny, you know, I've had a motor racing background all my life and haven't done a lot in the last 20 years with, family. So I was just sitting down one day and I'm a huge DJR follower and I noticed Scotty McLaughlin was doing some iRacing, some sim racing, and I went, that's interesting. So, mate, had a look and fell in love with it straight away. And yeah, that's how I got in. It was really quick and easy, I can tell you.
And it definitely is addictive. I can say that firsthand as well. So it's.
Oh man, yeah, absolutely, mate. I in the early days I spent tons of hours on the rig, you know. So yeah.
Well, mate, you did mention you had a real life background in motorsport about 20 years ago, and from me knowing you as an ex-teammate and having chats outside of iRacing on several occasions, you come from a dirt background, but now you find yourself more times rather than not in a league perspective running in the oval scene in iRacing. What dragged you across and what do you like so much about running in the oval scene on iRacing?
Yeah, and motor racing's been in my blood all my life. Mainly dirt bikes. Raced from the age of 6 right up till I was about 23, and from junior motorcycles through to Speedway solos. And I jumped on V8 supercars initially because I'm a huge follower of V8 supercars, and then I just happened to be on just going through the iRacing different things you can get into, and I came across I think it might have been ovals with V8s. I'm not quite sure, and I ended up meeting Michael Shaw from Full Throttle, and to be honest with you, he pretty much got me in and got me hooked on oval racing, and yeah, that's pretty much how it all happened. I love oval racing. It's just it's so much closer, and I just love it, mate.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Oval racing, me personally, even though this interview's not about myself, come from a road racing background, and I find myself navigating towards the oval scene more often than not as well, so I can understand that. And to the viewers watching this interview, I'm sure, Greg, you'll agree, it's not just as simple as turning left and accelerating. So anyone that hasn't been a part of the oval scene in iRacing, I'm sure you'll agree that get in and do a bit of it, because it's a lot harder than what you think, and those concentration levels over a long period of time are 100% important to get good results.
Oh yeah, mate, absolutely. Anyone thinks you just turning left is crazy. It's quite difficult. Concentration's the key. One of my biggest downfalls is concentration. But yeah, I just think it's amazing, man. I love it.
Well, we've talked a little bit about iRacing, but let's let the viewers get a little bit of an insight to the Greg Spencer outside of iRacing, mate. So what do you do for work outside of iRacing?
Mate, I am a facilities manager. I'm the facilities manager at Speech and Language Development Australia. We predominantly look after kids with DLD, language disorder. So that keeps me really, really busy. Outside of that, I used to do a fair bit of soccer coaching and that. But yeah, my job is pretty full on. So yeah, and I love it. I love looking after the kids that we look after are special kids, and yeah, just love it.
Well, you just mentioned and pretty much answered my next question. I was going to ask you, what are your interests outside of iRacing? You mentioned you previously did coach a little bit of soccer. I would probably suggest or guess that was with one of your children.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, look, I've been. My son plays with our local club. He's been playing with them for, I don't know, 13, 14 years. I think I've probably coached 8 of those. And yeah, soccer would be my second sport. But mate, to be real honest here, iRacing is my life. If you ask my partner Melanie, she would she'll go, "Yep, Greg's on that thing every day." So yeah, no, I love iRacing, and I love the fact that I've got 5 teammates that are really great guys, and that's a big part of it for me too. The guys that I get on and chat with every few nights. Couldn't ask for a better bunch of guys.
Pinnacle Esports team are always a formidable force to be reckoned with in anything they race. So, mate, thank you so much for making yourself available for this chat prior to tonight's race in the Full Throttle Sim Racing League's NASCAR Next Gen Series, of course, brought to you by simrigs.com, mate. So thank you so much for your time, and I wish you all the best tonight.
Thanks.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Greg Spencer, the Pinnacle Esports pilot. He's normally runs the 29, but running the 30 tonight. So there you go, a little bit of an insight into Greg Spencer as we've just rolled over into qualifying, ladies and gentlemen, for what is set for an action-packed night as the 33 is on screen there. As these guys get into qualifying, we'll just jump in and give you a little bit of information on what we will bring you for tonight's night. So a few race notes there. Race laps, 134 laps around Texas Motor Speedway tonight. They have a 75% fuel drop. 2 tyres over the fence that they can grab, or 2 sets of tyres over the fence that they can grab. There will be 0 fast repairs as per normal here for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. 1 green-white checker if that's needed at the end. Of course, there's myself, Paul Jackson, in there behind the cameras in the booth tonight, and our special guest, Pete Gretton. It is a 1.5 mile track tonight, 2.4 kilometres in our terms over here, and the time is 1:15 p.m. in the sim world. So we're on board at the moment with the 33 as they go around the track. We will just wait and see how these times play out. We're on board with Steve McLennan, but JCW, Joshua Carroll-Walden, straight to the point with a 30.28. Daniel Beckinsale, second. Last year's champion with a better qualifying so far is in third place with a 30.38. The usual Darren McKenzie up to the top there in second place as well with a 30.34. But we hope you enjoyed everything that Greg had to say there prior to this race. As I said, we will be bringing that to you in every broadcast we do and give you a little bit of an insight into the drivers and what they do outside of the sim racing world as we go on board with the 03 of Brad J. Allison there. But Joshua Carroll-Walden still holding fast at the top with a 30.12. Graham Nucky, a new one to the series, has just popped up with a 30.17 to go P2. Steve McLennan out of New Zealand in the 88 jumps up into P3 with a 30.18. Darren McKenzie there has dropped down to fourth with a 30.20 as it looks like Peter has just left us for a second in the broadcast booth. So not sure where he is at the moment, but I'll keep going. But I'm interested to see this one tonight. We come off round one, and the championship points, we won't bring them up at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, as these guys are going through qualifying, and we'll let you watch and see where your favourite driver does end up in this one. But very looking forward to bringing all the action to you. Nigel Payton was the man who got the chocolates last Friday night and is leading the championship coming into this round. Looking out for that one. But Kobe Jordan in the 080 straight to the top says, Joshua Carroll Walden, whatever you can do, I can do better. So Kobe Jordan is the provisional pole sitter with a 30.10, with Matt Payton with a 30.12, jumps up to P2, identical time to Joshua Carroll Walden there in third place with a 30.12. On board with the 18 there of Jamie Nankervis in the sim shed broadcasting backed car. So we'll see how Jamie Nankervis goes in his qualifying. Very late out in the session for Jamie with 3.5 minutes into this 5-minute qualifying session. He's currently down in the 28th position with a 30.36. We'll see whether he can better that time. This time across the strike. The 18 comes across now, and that will put Jamie no better than where he was. So Jamie Nankervis will be starting out of the 27th starting position at the moment provisionally, as we're on board now with the 968 of Sam the Man Katakazounos. We'll see how he can go in this one. So Team Bushfink Racing, Sam Katakazounos, we'll see whether he can jump to the top. He was very quick last week for round one. He's currently down in 31st with a 30.43. We'll see whether he betters that one as he comes across the strike here at Texas Motor Speedway. Where does that put Sam Katakazounos? And he's just jumped up into the 9th position with a 30.19. So a good run there by Sam. On board now with Lockie Capel, young Lachlan Capel, a young fella with a lot of speed and a lot of raw talent. We've seen him at the front in a lot of our broadcasts, so we'll see where he jumps up in qualifying as my live timing just goes on me again. But Lachlan Capel, we'll see where that puts him. So looks like Lachlan Capel just went around his first lap there in 35th position with a 30.48, and that's going to be the end of qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. So we will bring up your starting grid for here. Round 2 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series from Texas Motor Speedway. And off the pole will be Kobe Jordan. On the outside of that front row with a sensational qualifying tonight is Matt Payton. Inside of that second row will be Joshua Carroll Walden with Ruben Phelps from Aussie Esports starting out of P4. Ray Zerkut out of P5 with Adam Malone. Southern Stars Racing out of P6. Graham Nucky with a good qualifying out of P7. Steve McLennan out of 8. Sam Katakuznos out of P9. Darren McKenzie will round out your 10. Brad Allison will start out of the 11th starting position tonight with Garth Duffy out of 12 as we roll across the page. In 13th will be Dan Beckinsale, your championship winner from last season, and Brian Bullock out of 14. 15 will be Dimitri Agathos with Mark Johansson. In 16, Trav Mason will start out of 17. Greg Spencer, who we heard from earlier, will be out of the 18th position. Andy Barber, Southern Stars Racing, will be out of 19 with Tom Pritchard rounding out your 20. Out of 21 will be Norman Clark. Out of 22, Maxi Marshall. 23 will be Todd May. Michael Shaw out of 24. We go a roll across to the 25th starting position tonight will be Tim Weston out of 26, Aussie Esports new recruit Brett Campbell. Out of 27, Shannon Blackburn. 28 will be the 18 of Jamie Nankervis. 29th will be our American friend Derek Jacobs, early morning over there. So he'll start out of 29th. 30th will be Michael Budge. 31st will be Joe Terra. 32nd will be Adam Marinovich in what is a massive field tonight, ladies and gentlemen. 33rd, Damon May, and Brett Elder will take up the 34th starting position for round 2. 35th will be Lachlan Capel with Tristan Koch starting out of the 36th position as they just keep coming, ladies and gentlemen. It is a stacked field tonight. 37th will be Graham Ellis. Out of the 38th position will be Brett Fenley. Justin Witcher, a late entry into this one, will start out of the 39th position, the reigning Australasian Supercar E-Series champion. And rounding out your grid with your 40-car grid tonight will be Dave Oliver. So, ladies and gentlemen, place your bets who you think is going to win this one, who your favourite driver is, as we're about to go green flag racing around the virtual Texas Motor Speedway. I'll tell you what, you need to have a little bit of a look out of turn 4 tonight as these tyres do drop off. There is a big magnet on turn 4 and you can really catch the outside of that wall, as I found earlier in the week in one of my races that I did, and it didn't end very nicely for my night. But it will be Kobe Jordan and Matt Payton off the front row, Joshua Carroll Walden from Natari Autosport in the 3rd position. So looking forward to this one. Paul, Pete's just dropped off at the moment in the broadcast booth. They're going down the back straight real quickly. Looking forward to this one, mate.
Definitely round 1 at Charlotte, I think. Saw a lot of action and a similar sized field last week. I think about 40 drivers. 40 tonight at Texas. This is going to be quite full on, Aiden.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to bringing you all the action here. Kobe Jordan off the pole, Matt Payton out of 2nd. Keep your eye on the 35 Natari Autosport driver, or Joshua Carroll Walden on the inside of that 2nd row. Of course, Ruben Phelps there, the Aussie Esports New Zealand entry, out of 4th position on the outside of the 2nd row as the guys roll down, getting ready to take the green flag for round 2. And Kobe Jordan gets an early jump there, and we've gone straight into a yellow flag by the looks of it here for round 2. So not a good way for these guys to start. I believe in round 1 we had a few yellows as well. So Kobe Jordan with a nice jump on that one, but we've gone under yellow. So if we can, we will go back and have a look at, and it doesn't look like there was an issue. They might have actually delayed the green, I'm not sure, but we're not getting anything through to us on why there was a yellow flag there. So sit tight, ladies and gentlemen. They'll reset, buckle those virtual belts down again and get ready to go green here for round 2. So we will just wait and see. We'll have a look into the chats and have a chat with you guys while we wait. So they're going to have to slow down a lot here. As you can see, him almost coming to a stop on track. That's because they're waiting for the pace car to come out of the pits and past them. So I'll quickly grab someone up and have a chat to them and see why we have gone under caution. So I'll do that now. And I brought Michael Shaw up into the booth. Shawry, mate, I know you won't mind me having a chat to you, mate. Can you give the viewers a little bit of an insight into why the caution came out there off the green?
Yeah, sorry, mate. What happened was because we got such a great, big, and incredible field, not all the drivers were sort of all caught up, so it was a little bit unfair. Unfortunately, I tried to get it out before the race started, but I couldn't hit the button in time, and unfortunately happened. So sorry about all the people that are the viewers, but yeah, won't happen again.
That's all right, mate.
Did anyone go a lap down from that?
At this stage, no, because no one crossed the start-finish line yet. But I think everybody's still right now that the pace car, we all slowed down. The pace car got in front of us before we crossed the start-finish line. Right.
Excellent. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's a down low from Michael Shaw, the owner and runner of what is the Simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. Shawry, thanks for just clearing that up for us as we're getting all excited to bring what is round 2 to everyone. But we'll let you go back up with your team and best of luck for this one.
Thanks, Aiden, and Paul, have a good broadcast.
No worries, mate. All right, so we'll put him back up into his Southern Stars Racing team channel so he can have a chat with those guys, and we will quickly go through the championship points for you, ladies and gentlemen, since we've got another lap under pace car conditions before we go green flag racing. Try to go green flag racing rather for the second time tonight. So as you can see there, Nigel Payton's leading the way after round 1 on top with 41 points. Jason Holdsworth is 2nd place with 35 points. Norman Clark, very solid in this series for season 1. He's there again after round 1. 32 points. Kobe Jordan in 4th there with 31 points, tied with Adam Marinovich there in 5th. Brad Fenley, Matt Payton, Dave Oliver, Daniel Beckinsale, your current championship winner from season 1, and Justin Witcher, your Supercars E-Series reigning champion, rounding out your your 10 rather. Dimitri Agathos, Andy Barber, Michael Shaw, Tristan Koch, Adam Malone, Brad Allison, Jamie Nankervis and Tim Weston will be 18 as we'll go back. You can quickly have a look at who is where in the championship for the minors at the moment. But like we said, it is only round 2. We come off round 1. So that's how they stand going into this one. Not sure what's happened to our man Peter Gretton at the moment. Hopefully he can jump back in and grace us with his presence, but we are about to go green here for round 2 for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series at Texas Motor Speedway. We can see you all tuning in here on the broadcast. We've got the likes of Ryan Barber, as per usual. He'll be going for his old man, Mr. Andy Barber, who I call the Coca-Cola assassin, but I can't do that anymore. Of course, we have Steve Hoppett into the chat as well. Good to see you back here again on the InterSim Esports Network, Steve. Be sure you'll keep us company all night. Of course, Margaret Shannon's in here also. Thank you guys for tuning in. We can see a lot more people tuning in, so if you are tuning in, be sure to comment on our stream and keep us company as we bring you what is round 2 of the Full Throttle Sim Racing League's next NASCAR Next Gen Series from Texas Motor Speedway on the InterSim Esports Network. Of course, you can find us on Facebook, or you can find us across on YouTube. As we go green, so it looks like they've gone single file restart there. So Kobe Jordan's just got a massive jump on the field from doing that. Doesn't look like everyone had caught up, so not sure whether that's better than what the first start was, but nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, we're green, and he's already the back of a lapped car, so whoever that is down the back, and I can tell you exactly who that is. That looks like that is Justin Witcher on the back of that one, and cars are already gone a lap down. So crazy start to this one. I'm sure Race Control is going to have to fix this one up, and by the looks of it, we've gone caution again, and that's exactly what has happened. So people are going to get some wave rounds and try and start this one for the 3rd time tonight. So they're a little bit trigger happy. This is what happens, ladies and gentlemen. 40 cars on track. It's really hard to get them all lined up. They want to make sure that everyone gets an even and fair advantage at the start of this one. But that's already rolled us into lap 6 of 134. So strategies are now going out the window. But what we can do, I'll give you... But what we can do is, well, they're going under caution here. Simrigs.com is the major sponsor of the NASCAR Next Gen Series, and they build something which is called the Exodus Sim Rig. Let's go across and have a look at how they build that sensational piece of equipment. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We had to cut that a little bit short because the pace cars lights are off and we're finally about to go green here for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen series from Texas Motor Speedway. But what a great piece of engineering there by simrigs.com. If you want to get involved in iRacing, of course, jump on to simrigs.com, and that's where you can find your first sim rig and be able to do exactly what the boys, or ladies and gentlemen, are doing here for round one. A little bit of a change there on the front row. As you can see, Ruben Phelps now up to third place. A little bit of a change with the start, but it'll still be Kobe Jordan bringing us to the green. He'll wait for the green flag this time around. So they come down and it looks like we're going to get green for the first time tonight, and we do. Kobe Jordan with the great start there on the inside line. Matt Payton on the outside. Looks like he just got the jump over Ruben Phelps, but Ruben's just on the inside there through 1 and 2, so it looks like he'll make the pass for P2. They're 3 wide in the background. Joshua Carroll, Walden, Adam Malone, Matt Payton as they come out of 2 first time around the Texas Motor Speedway. So it still is Kobe Jordan at the front of this one. Battle packs everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. It is a 40-car field, so get settled in tonight for 134 laps around Texas Motor Speedway. It is actually 124 laps now as they've spent the first 10 laps under caution. So Jamie Nankervis in the 18 there, right up behind in 26th position. He's right up behind the 09 of Norman Clark, looking very racy early there, the 18 of Jamie Nankervis. Always the man that is there or thereabouts here around all these oval series and oval leagues, just not quite getting the results that he wants. So it'll be good to see whether Jamie can get to the point of this one as the race goes on. Dimitri Agathos there from Bin Chicane Racing. He is doing a great job as well. He's up there into the 14th position. He's just moved up 1 position from his 15th position starting spot. So expect to see Dimitri Agathos make his way forward in this one. He is a very, very overall well-rounded driver. He does run in another league we broadcast, which is the Blendline TV Pro Car GTE Championship, and he's no mug around the circuit racing either in the Porsche 992. So watch out for Dimitri Agathos to make his way forward in this one, ladies and gentlemen. But back to the point, Kobe Jordan still leading this one over Ruben Phelps. Ruben's just ranging up on the back of him a little bit. I did a little bit of practice in their practice session earlier before we went live, and the aero wash in these cars through the corners can be quite high. So we will see what happens, but just as I say that, we go under caution for what is an actual caution for the first time tonight here for round 2 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. Of course, our equipment here and what we bring the broadcast to on this occasion has failed us once again, so I'm not sure we're going to be able to bring you the replay, but Paul's working feverishly as he brings up the replay file. We'll see what happens. It looks like we're still on with the leaders here, so not sure whether that's going to bring us oh, there it is in the background there. So Brett Elder was just the man behind that one. Derek Jacobs on board. Not quite sure who was involved in that one as Paul's working feverishly in the background. So do apologise to you, ladies and gentlemen, for not being able to bring you the action of that incident, but that happens sometimes. But Kobe Jordan still leading the way. We're going to try one more time and see whether we can see what happened down the back stretch at Texas Motor Speedway. So just keep your eyes peeled. There it is in the background. Derek Jacobs, it looks like, on the outside of Tim Weston from Bin Chicane Racing, and just got into the right-hand rear. It looks like Tristan Koch from Aussie Esports down there as well, with not a great start to this one. Every time I commentate on my teammates, Paul, they seem to get in wrecks. Ruben doing good at the front, but Tristan Koch has had a rotten run of luck lately. The last 3 races he's started, that's exactly how his race has gone. So not a really good start there for Tristan Koch in this one, but Kobe Jordan still leading the point of this race. Ruben Phelps in second, Steve McLennan in third. So it's Australia, New Zealand, 1, 2, 3. Then back to Australia at the moment in fourth with Adam Malone. The first of the Southern Stars Esports contingent, Adam Malone on a little bit of a hot streak at the moment. He had a nice solid top 10 last night in a truck race I competed in, so good job by him. Ray Zerkut there up into P5. Darren McKenzie in the 0-2 will be off the 6th starting position next time we go green. The ever-consistent Darren McKenzie from Southern Stars Esports, he'll be right behind his teammate, the number 4 of Adam Malone. Graham Nucky there in 7th, Garth Duffy 8th, Daniel Beckinsale in 9th, and Sam the man Katakuzanos up there in P10. But while they run under caution here, Paul, let's give you a little bit of an information about Texas. A little bit of, actually, I'll give you a question, mate. Here's a random question for you, and it's really a 50-50, but a little bit of a question for you. How many, or who has more, which gender, rather, has more restrooms, the Texas Motor Speedway, than each other? Which gender has more restrooms?
Whoa, well, I don't know, with this day and age with genders and stuff, you know, you'd have to think female. There'll be more women's restrooms there, Aiden.
Mate, you've been on Google, haven't you? You're there feverishly Googling, because you got it right, mate. There are actually, get a load of this, right? A bit of useless information for you for a Friday night here on the Indosim Esports Network. At the Texas Motor Speedway, there are 1,656 women's restrooms, and there are 843 restrooms. So my beautiful partner Prue is the one that actually went and dug up that information for me, because she does a lot of notes for me before I go commentating. And my instant response to her was all the men out doing their business behind their trailers or something in America, because they've got half the amount of restrooms. But there you go, 1,656 women's restrooms and 843. Who would have thought, Paul?
Definitely not me. It's almost double, I think. So, yeah, quite a vast number there.
Tell you what, we're definitely here with the hard-hitting questions here on the Indosim Esports Network. So I probably should have put that out to the viewers, but I'll be sure to bring you a question, viewers, while we go around tonight. And Steve Hoppett's actually just said, do we still have genders in 2021? Well, Google's never wrong, Steve. Always believe Google, and that's what it told us. So, yeah, keep tuned in, and we will be sure to ask you a question as we go around for what is round 2 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. And we'll let you all get in a part of it, but you need to promise me one thing, and I know some of you will cheat. You need to promise me one thing, that you don't Google it, because I'll have Google open as well. Actually, I've got the answers in front of me. So anyway, but we're about to go green one more time here for round 2 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. Margaret Shannon jumps on. She reckons it makes sense because restrooms, men are in and out, women aren't. So there you go. There's another theory from one of our viewers on why there are more women's restrooms. But let's get back to the serious action, which is NASCAR Next Gen Racing at Texas Motor Speedway here on the Indosim Esports Network. And it will be Kobe Jordan bringing us off the point of this one once again. Ruben Phelps on the outside of that second row, Steve McLennan and Adam Malone up there in the second row, rather. Next time we go to green, Steve McLennan with a great qualifying up the front of this one. We'll see whether he can convert that as this race goes on. So Kobe Jordan, rather, takes the green flag once again here for round 2 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series from Texas Motor Speedway. Steve McLennan makes his way through up into P2, following up behind Kobe at the moment. Ruben Phelps just tucks in there in at 3rd spot. So Ray Zerkott's the 4th and Adam Malone your 5 as they make their way down the back stretch once again here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Looks like they're a little bit less trigger happy this time around, as we are nearly green for our first official green lap, I'd suggest, or close to here for round 2, and we go caution once again. So I tell you what, I'm going to have to come up with another question, because I think we're going to have another caution here, but we definitely do, but we'll go back if we can and have a look at what brought out the second official caution of the night. And it don't know. We'll go and have a look. Looks like Greg Spencer's in the pits. Everyone that talks to me seems to have bad luck. So Greg Spencer, we spoke to earlier in the broadcast, has jumped into the pits. So it looks like the 30 Pinnacle Esports car was involved in that. So Greg Spencer's just blown his motor by the looks of that. So, yeah, not sure what happened with Greg Spencer there, whether he just clicked the wrong gear there. But anyway, in saying that, Paul, it is quiz time again for the viewers. So we're going quiz time. If we can't watch motorsport, let's get a bit of useless knowledge into us here on a Friday night. So, what is, and I need you to comment straight away and don't Google it, because if you get this off the top of your head, you're smarter than I am, and that's not very hard, to be honest. But anyway, who is the mascot of Texas Motor Speedway? Paul, who do you think the mascot of Texas Motor Speedway is?
Oh, well, I might have got the first one right, but I've got no clue on this one. The iRacing guy, the logo man from iRacing.
No, I'm neither going to confirm or deny, but I think we know the answer to that one, my friend. I can't see people commenting on what the answer is. I'll give them a couple more seconds. They are a little bit behind us and what we're talking about, so we'll give them another little bit of time to answer that question. But I thought we would have got a couple more laps under green, and Greg's engine isn't happy, Ryan said as well. So everyone tuned in, we'll see what those answers are. But I might look smart here, Paul, with all these questions and knowing the answers. But like I said, my beautiful partner Prue's the one that comes amongst this one and gives me all the information. I know you've got another question for us later on, Paul, if we see these people jump in and answer. Ryan Barber's cheated. That's it, Ryan. Next time we race, end of line, mate. You've cheated. Ryan Barber's right. Davy Crockett, Steve Hoppett reckons. That's a good one from Steve, thank you. But Ryan Barber's right. It is a spark plug. But Ryan, what brand of spark plug was it after? And TJ, you're right too. It is Sparky. So Sparky is the mascot of Texas Motor Speedway, but can you answer what brand? Can any of you answer what brand? That's going to be the interesting one. So we'll give them a little bit. No, what do you reckon, Paul?
Ryko.
No. Dun-dun.
Bow, bow.
Dun-dun. Try again. Phone a friend. Can't even give you 50-50 because there's... yeah, they're all answering Sparky, but I'll just go and answer that. It's actually NGK Spark Plugs. So they signed a unique sponsorship with the Speedway, which formed the mascot Sparky. So there you go, guys. A little bit of useless information on a Friday night as the lights are off the pace car again, once again here for round two of... they're not. Sorry, I've just heard Paul in my ear. I was getting a little bit too excited there. Getting a little bit too excited to see some green flag racing. All right, quickly, one quick question. Another one, Paul. You fire one away at the viewers.
Well, this is going to be one to put down for the race, actually. So, how many cautions do we think we're going to get before the end of the race? So we've already had a couple, and I'm not going to tell you how many we've had so far. And it'll include the competition cautions that we've had at the start of the race there. So we'll see how many.
Do I get first shot?
Oh, well, you asked me, so I guess that's fair. How many do you think we're going to get by the end of the night?
Mate, well, you know I'm the best man at giving curses here on the InterSim Esports Network, so let's. I'm going to throw out 11.
Ooh, 11 cautions. That's
I'm
quite a lot there.
I'm saying that because you said we're going to count the competition cautions. So if the drivers are watching the stream, don't listen to the fact that I said that and create cautions to try and make me right. And number two, what are you doing watching the stream while you're driving? That's probably why we're getting cautions. So, all right, so Margaret's jumped in and said 11. Steve Hoppett, 19. Ryan Barber, 8. TJ Pollard, 8. Dean Jenkins, 17. Dean, well, I hope not. It's going to be a very long night if we have 17. So there we go. But we're going to see some green flag racing very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. We're already 22 laps into 134. And this time around, the yellows are off the pace car. So we're going to go green once again for round 2 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. Look at the big mover for doing nothing tonight so far is Adam Marinovich. He's up 19 spots into 13th at the moment. So people have jumped in and grabbed some fuel. I can see that on the live timing, but I'll bring all that information to you as we go green because all eyes need to be on the 080 Kobe Jordan as he brings it to the green. Steve McLennan dropping way back there on the restart. So Kobe Jordan's gone early once again and got that nice jump off the start. Steve McLennan gets a similar jump on the outside. He was just slacking off that little bit and is going to allow Adam Malone possibly to get the run through 1 and 2 this time through as he just cuts down on Adam Malone. We're too wide at the moment for 4th and 5th, so that's the 19 there of Graham Nucky just getting the move done on Ray Zerker in the 22. Darren McKenzie's coming into this one in the 02 Southern Stars Esports car. Darren McKenzie always wanting to make his way to the front early in a motor race, and now it looks like we're going to go green for a little bit longer. The 02 Southern Stars Esports or Southern Stars Racing pilot is making his way to the front. Young Lachlan Capel at the moment in the M&Ms, and there's a wall hit in the background as well. So lucky that one didn't bring out a caution, but that looks like that could have been the entry of Graham Ellis. So he's travelling very slowly around the Texas Motor Speedway at the moment in that 555 entry. So he's had a big incident in that outside wall, which is the famous turn 4 I mentioned earlier in the broadcast. It has that imaginary magnet there, Paul, that sometimes we all seem to hit around Texas Motor Speedway. But Michael Budge in the thick of things there in the 8 car on the outside as they make their way through 1 and 2 for the second time tonight under green flag conditions. Yes, we agree, Margaret, more laps green than yellow would be nice. I tell you what, it would, as we're already 25 into 134. So the guys settling themselves down. Oh, there's a big rollover down through the tri-oval. Oh, that is a massive crash through the tri-oval of Texas Motor Speedway. And we're going to see who that was. I've got no idea who that was, but he was launched, and we're under yellow once again. Paul, we'll have to go back and have a look at the replay of that one, brought to you by Inside Lane Productions. So it was a turquoise colour car. It was Steve McLennan, I believe, from the look at his car that was up the point of the motor race. And it was Steve McLennan with a massive, massive rollover down the main straight. Adam Malone a part of that as well. Oh, it looks like Dan Beckinsale up in the background there. Tom Pritchard just getting through that one in the 6th entry, as well as Steve McLennan's still doing his best, still doing his best gymnastics impersonation down the main straight. 3.5 somersault with a pike. Looks like there's a lot of cars involved in that one. So breakdancing NASCAR safety car has led the most laps. Yeah, you're right there, Ryan. As we're still looking at that incident, looks like Jamie Nankervis is caught in that. The 222's in court with that one as well. A lot of people caught in that one as we go under caution once again here on the Indesim Esports Network. So let's, are we going to do more trivia? Let's see whether we can do some more trivia. All right, so we'll just watch the guys go around under caution once again, ladies and gentlemen. We're 27 of 134. It looks like you guys have been liking our useless trivia here on the Indesim Esports Network, so we'll keep that going. Greg Spencer, you're meant to be in the race, not commentating on our stream, mate, but looks like you could be done in this one, or you're sitting there getting, or you are done because your engine's gone. So thanks for tuning in, mate. 11 cautions, he reckons. I'm not sure what we're up to, but I tell you what, Dean Jenkins' 17 cautions is looking good as we're 28 into 134 already. But anyway, another little bit of a question for you guys. So we've gone through the mascot, we've gone through the spark plug, we've gone through the restrooms, because that was the most important one, because we all need to go when we need to go. We've gone through, I forgot what your one was, Paul, cautions, yep. And, okay, how much did it cost to build the Texas Motor Speedway? And it is in US dollars. So, Paul, being my fellow commentator, of course, you get first crack at this one. So throw out your best guess at that one, mate.
Let's go with 20 mil. $20 million.
20 million US. Are you gonna lock it in, Eddie?
Yeah, lock it in, Eddie.
Well, that'll give you 20 NASCARs. So I'm sure you're probably not gonna be the winner of this one, mate. But it's a solid effort. But we'll come back. We'll see what other people come back with. Their answers on the stream. But guys, I'll give you a little bit of a tip. it's higher than 20 million. So it's not only Intersim Esports trivia, it's also Intersim Esports Price is Right. So higher, as they used to say on The Price is Right, for you people that are as old as me and remember The Price is Right. So we'll see what people come back with. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. What was the Texas Motor Speedway cost of building, or what was it built for, dollar-wise, in US dollars? And we'll give you an extra bonus point, which counts for nothing actually, but we'll give you an extra bonus point if you tell me what year it was opened in. Joshy Micklemore, good to see you in on the broadcast, mate. Joshy Mick, 200 million, mate. I tell you what, you're a lot closer than Paul on 20 million. Greg Spencer's Googled it. Greg Spencer. Last time I do an interview with you, mate, get off Google, Greg, and get back in your car. So, Josh, you're close, 200 million. Greg Spencer's hit the nail on the head, 250 million US dollars. What year, Greg? And get off Google. What year did it open? Or Josh or Ryan? He's got the next trivia question too. Ryan Barber's right. TJ Pollard's right. They're all Googling it. What's the point of having trivia when they're Googling it? I'm devastated. Oh, Steve Hoppett didn't Google, and Ryan Barber says 1996. So, Ryan, I can't give you that 1 point because I don't even know the right answer myself. So, if it's 1996, yeah, they're all Googling it now.
Well, Google's your friend, Aiden, so if you Googled it, you would have got it right as well.
Well, we're going to put the next trivia question out now. And this is all thanks to Ryan Barber. Before we go green here again, Ryan Barber's trivia question is, who's going to cause the next caution? So, comment on the stream who's going to cause the next caution, because that's on you, Ryan. That's not on us here at the Intersim Esports Network, as we're about to go green once again here for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. Yeah, you're very right, Paul. As Paul was just in my ear, it's the viewer's curse, not the commentator's curse. And TJ Pollard's gone one better. February 1996, as we go green once again here for round 2 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. And Kobe Jordan again with the jump at the point of this one, making his way through turn 1 and 2. Darren McKenzie already up into the P2 position early on in this one. It seems so early on, Paul. We're already 30 into 134, but we've probably only seen 4 laps under the green flag at the moment. Sam Katakouzanos there having a nice little battle with Graham Nucky at the moment. We're 2 wide there with young Lachlan Capel in the M&M's entry. You can see that him making his way through. Lachlan Capel, as I said, he's a great young steerer. He always shows a lot of speed. He had a little bit of a hassle, I believe, last broadcast, Paul. He was doing really well at the Indy 400 for the Australasian Supercar E-Series, and it was probably only a quarter of the race to go and his internet dropped out on him because they had a storm and had a blackout. So Lachlan will be coming back into this one hoping that he will have a better race, or better luck rather. So you can see Jamie Nankervis making his way up the inside there of Brad Fenley and Michael Shaw there as well. But we've got to change for the lead at the point, ladies and gentlemen, and it's no surprise the 02 Southern Stars racing outfit of Darren McKenzie makes his way back to the point of a motor race. He seems to do this very early on in races. He'll be the first one to admit historically he burns up his stuff a little bit too quick because he loves to race, but he seems to have got his head around that one a little bit as time has gone on, especially in these next-gen cars which drive totally different. But what I did notice, the patch update that was done recently by iRacing have changed the way that these next-gen cars drive. So I did an official during the week in these cars just to get my head around them once again since the patch update. And I can say that the tyre wear model is a lot better than what it was in the first release that they did of these next-gen cars. So there is a lot more tyre wear than there was in the first release. So we're going to see that definitely play a factor in this race as it progresses. Obviously, they've been under caution quite a lot. So that's not a factor 34 into 134. But we'll see that start to change. So Darren McKenzie back to the point, as I said. Ray Zerkut in second. Kobe Jordan just falls back to the third position at the moment. And we're back on with Maxi Marshall. So Maxi Marshall doing a good job in this one. So, Paul, nice little solid start to this one, mate. When it looks like we're getting a bit more green flag racing.
Yeah, good to see. Finally, everyone's settled in after getting 30-odd laps there under their belt. Not really much racing action, but yeah, hopefully we can go green flag the rest of the way.
Hopefully we can, my friend. And 35 laps now into 134. Justin Witcher, we're on board with in the 21 entry. He's made his way up into the 16th position, rather, Paul. 23 spots up on his starting position. Ruben Phelps looking to make the move on him at the moment. Ruben Phelps coming off a solid top 5 drive last night at Kansas Motor Speedway for another Full Throttle Sim Racing League, which was the Truck League on a Thursday night. So he comes off a nice solid P5 last night. So he'll be looking to have another result like that tonight. I'll even mention you, Paul. We don't mention a lot of your racing in our broadcast, which I'd like to bring that more of a factor, because you are a really... Oh, as we've got a big incident down the back straight once again. The 99 of Derek Jacobs and Mark Johansson, and we're getting closer and closer to that 17 caution mark. But safety car wins in Texas once again. Yes, Ryan Barber, you're 100% correct. So we'll go back and have a look at the Inside Lane Productions replay as they come out of the turn 2. Looks like, yeah, so it looks like Mark Johansson's just got loose on the outside of turn 2 and come straight down on the unwanted victim of the 99 of Derek Jacobs. So unfortunate for him to be pretty much out of this one early on, and Mark Johansson's not going to be happy with that one. But let's just bring Mr. Derek Jacobs down into the broadcast booth. He always likes to chat with us here on the InterSim Esports Network, but I'm sure he doesn't like the circumstances that we're about to have a chat with him once again. But Derek Jacobs, my friend, 99 Southern Stars Racing entry, mate. Not the way you wanted to start that one, number one, with how many laps under yellow, but being the innocent bystander there with the car on the outside getting all out of shape.
Yeah, it seems to be the norm for the 99. It seems the last 2 weeks been caught up in some trouble, so we'll have to pack her up and send her on down the road till next week, looks like.
Yeah, mate. Well, is she all done and dusted, the 99 tonight? Is that her? I know you'll have a lot of repairs, but that's your night?
That's it right there. We're probably looking at about 30 minutes, most likely. The whole front of the car is gone. So.
Well, mate, we got you for a little bit. We've been playing a little bit of trivia here on the broadcast, mate. And
lovely trivia.
Yeah, I thought you'd like a bit of trivia, mate. And being an American friend of ours, I'll bring you in on a bit of trivia, mate. And I'll bring you into straight up the hard-hitting question that we've had here on the InterSim Esports Network under the yellow flags. Are you ready for it? All right,
yeah,
here we go. Here we go. So, Derek Jacobs, can you get this one right? Texas Motor Speedway, in your homeland of the United States of America, who has more restrooms, women or men?
That's a good question.
It's a hard-hitting one. You'd say men.
Have to go to the bathroom. They have to go to the bathroom more often, but women, it takes longer in the bathroom, I would probably have to say. So I bet it's pretty close, but I'd probably give the edge to probably I would say women.
Women. Well, your logic is the same as Margaret that's been tuning into the stream, mate. And she made the assumption that women had more restrooms than men because of that exact same reason. And Derek Jacobs, you get one virtual point that goes nowhere because you're correct. And just to give you a little bit of an insight, well, you're sitting in your 99 Southern Stars racing car, pondering what might have been. There are 1,656 women's restrooms at Texas Motor Speedway and 843 men's.
Wow, that's a lot of stalls there to be occupied all at one time. I guess the Coors Light must be flowing pretty well in the state of Texas, eh?
Must be, mate. It must be all those Budweisers or whatever they drink downtown Texas, mate, at the Texas Motor Speedway. But they'd be nearly fitting 100-odd thousand people into that speedway. So that's really not a lot of bathrooms when there's a lot of beer flowing. But thanks for making yourself available in what is unfortunate circumstances here on the InterSim Esports Network, mate. And thanks for playing along in our little trivia game.
I appreciate it, Mr. Schultz, and hopefully we'll see you guys again next week, and hopefully maybe I can actually get 30 or 40 green flag laps in next week.
Paul, just quickly before we let Derek go, mate, we're under caution. You do a lot of racing with Derek and good mates. Anything you wanna say good day to Derek or anything while we're under caution?
G'day, Derek. It's been a while, I think, since we've been on track together.
I know, Blocker. How you doing?
Yeah, no, not too bad actually. Yeah, it's not the way I would have liked the race to go tonight, and especially for yourself as well. So, just kicking back here, watching it all unfold, and looks like your boy Ray Zirkit is faring quite well at the moment. He was sitting up in second. He's currently there in 14th now after pit stops and that. But hopefully he can have a solid run there for Team USA.
Yeah, hopefully he can. Ray's a very talented driver. Been done a lot of races with him. He knows what he's doing out there. So I have no doubt if he can keep his race car clean, that he can have a good finish here tonight in Texas.
Well, hopefully he does there, mate. And once again, thanks so much for making yourself available here on the InterSim Esports Network. Shame that your night turned out that way, but love talking to you here in the broadcast. And hopefully next time it's with a podium in one of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen races.
Absolutely, gentlemen. You guys have a great rest of your race and enjoy the show.
No worries, Derek. Enjoy your morning over there in the United States of America. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen, the 99 entry of Derek Jacobs making himself available. But we're about to go green once again here the Texas Motor Speedway for what is round 2 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. Thank you again for tuning in, everyone, across our Facebook and YouTube platforms. It will be the normal site, rather, of Kobe Jordan, which takes the green flag here. Once again, Graham Nucky there on the outside. Todd May getting a good run on the inside of that second row to take the second place in this one. Joe Terra there on the inside, making his way up the inside of Graham. He'll take third place. We'll see whether Graham can just stick it on the outside. It looks like that is done. So Joe Terra there in the 187 has moved up into P3. Have a look who's back there in P6, the 09 of Norman Clark. So your second place getter for what was season 1 of the NASCAR Next Gen Series is now up to 6th place here at Texas Motor Speedway. He came into this round after round 1 sitting in the 3rd place in the championship. So this is not an unusual place for the 09 of Norman Clark to be as we go 3 wide down the back stretch of Texas Motor Speedway. Norman Clark on the inside, Justin Witcher on the outside, Graham Nucky on the middle. Are they going to make their way through the 3 and 4 turns? Justin Witcher just goes, I'm going to err on the side of caution here, boys. You can have it. I'll come race you later. But there was a little bit of contact there, but Justin backs out of her at the right time. So Ruben Phelps having a run there as well. The Aussie Esports entry up behind the 18 of Jamie Nankervis from Simshed Broadcasting entry. Jamie blocks him off a little bit. I thought Ruben was going to take it 3 wide. Once again, he waits a little bit and he pokes the 06 up the inside through the 3 and 4 turns at Texas Motor Speedway. Jamie Nankervis slowly bring it down, but he's just opened that steering wheel out of 4. That allows Ruben Phelps to get the run through the tri-oval. So the next on the list for Ruben Phelps will be Tom Pritchard from Southern Stars Racing in that 6 car. So Ruben Phelps making his way up on the back of the 6 car of Tommy Pritchard. Tommy won't give it to him easy though, as Tom just comes up on the outside. Ruben must have a little bit of fresher tyres in this one as we go 45 into 134, and the 06 of Ruben Phelps looks like he's going to get that move done, and he does. So he makes his way up in front of the 6 of Tom Pritchard. He gets got a little bit of loose there off the turn. But Joshua Carroll-Walden's the one that we need to go and have a look at the moment. Joshua Carroll-Walden up into 13th position. So he is chasing down Ruben Phelps and following the 06 of Ruben Phelps through this field. So currently it is 12th Esports to Ruben Phelps, and we've got another incident. The 33 is around and we're going yellow once again here on the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series, and it's yellow once again, 47 of 134 as we go back and try and give you a little bit of an answer of what happened in that one. So they make their way down the back stretch, and just an incident there between Trav Mason and Damon May. So teammates getting into each other there. So the bin chicane guys causing that accident, and no one. Greg actually came back and he answered the question on who was going to bring out the next caution, and he said, and look at Damon May, he's obviously had too many of them tonight because that's what caused the accident. So his profile, he's picked there as a beer. So there was, so that's a little bit ironic. But Greg Spencer has jumped in and stopped making me laugh in my ear. Stop making me laugh, Paul. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you could hear Paul in the background at the moment. It's funny. But back to what I've been trying to say 3 times, Mr. Jackson, is Greg Spencer said who was going to bring out the next caution. His bet was men. So he got it right. But once again, you get a virtual 1 point, Greg. That really goes for nothing. So there you go. So Margaret Shannon, Friday Night Trivia coming to sim near a race near you. All right, where she's intrigued. So everyone will be intrigued here. We've you know what, Paul? You know what we've just found? We've gone 48 laps here for round 2 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. We've probably done 36 of them doing trivia. I've got an idea. We don't just broadcast. We've now got an Into Sim podcast, and it's all going to be random trivia. How's that? Is that a silly thought, or what do you reckon, guys, on the stream or watching? Do we create an Indosim podcast, but not an Indosim podcast that's going to teach you anything relevant in your life at all? It's just going to be all random trivia, and you guys from the streams and watch all our broadcasts can write in the questions to our email address, and I'll even give you our email address, intoSimEsportsNetwork@gmail.com, and we can create a little bit of random trivia for you guys, and you can even have a couple of those trophies that one of the drivers obviously might have been having tonight after seeing that incident. But I'm on fire tonight. Let's get back into some trivia. Paul, have you got any random trivia, or do I have to cover you on that one?
Well, let me go to Google, but I think you might have to cover me there.
All right, I'm going to cover you because my beautiful partner, as I said, Prue, always has me covered when it comes to my broadcasting. I don't know why she thinks random trivia is fun, but it's definitely keeping us entertained tonight. So, no Googling, everyone, and I know you're gonna, but anyway. In what year... actually...
Oh, you messed it up already, Aiden.
Actually, no, okay. What track on the NASCAR calendar, and it may or may not be in the current calendar, I know it is, what track is the only racetrack that still remains from NASCAR's very first season? What track is the only track that remains from NASCAR's very first season? So, don't Google it. I know you will, but Paul... you'll be on Google now. What am I talking about? But Paul, here's your question. What's your answer, mate?
Well, I'm putting me thinking cap on here, so it can't be Bristol because they changed that to dirt as well. Give me a hint here. Is it a short track, a 1.5 or a 2 mile?
It's a shorty, mate. It's a little one.
And as much as I hate short tracks.
And I'll give you a little bit of a hint. I'll give you a little bit of a hint. It's half bitumen, half concrete.
Dover.
Dum-dum.
Ooh.
Daytona. Daytona's not a short track, Ryan. North Wilsborough. No, it's not. North Wilsborough, Steve Hoppett. Incorrect. I thought Josh Mickelmore would get this one. It's definitely not Indianapolis, Ryan. It's not Talladega, Dean Jenkins.
South Boston.
South Boston. Is that even a track? Yeah, that is a track. I don't know. Oh, no. See, there's that useless trivia, guys, as we're about to go green once again. So I'll answer the question. It's Martinsville since 1948. So there you go. Rest easy tonight, guys. You know the oldest track to still be on the calendar of the official NASCAR season. So there we go. But thanks for tuning in, guys. They reckon our podcast would be a really good idea, but they reckon, Paul, would be even better if we did it with like 3 or 4 on a panel and we did it with live webcams. How good would that be? Let's have a think about that one. But I don't know where we're going to get the time, but it's definitely a good idea. I come up with them once a year, and you've just witnessed my one right here on the InterSim Esports Network. So we're about to go live once again, as it will be the 09, of Norman Clark bringing us to the green of this one as I bring up my live timing. So Norman Clark gets the jump on the inside, as we've seen all night here at the Texas Motor Speedway. That inside line really getting a good jump off these restarts. The 02 of Darren McKenzie and Sam Katakouzenos will be your 3 as they make their way through turns 1 and 2. Ray Zerkut in the 4th position, Ruben Phelps in 5th. So Ruben was dropping back in that one, just catching some fuel and topping up, and had to make his way through a little bit of a fight there, but he's making his way up the field as we go on board with Andy Barber in the number 5 Southern Stars Racing entry. The viewers will be happy that we are on board with Andy Barber. I'm sure there's a lot of people, especially Ryan, going for Andy tonight. So let us know if you're going for the number 5 Southern Stars Racing outfit of Andy Barber, as he currently is chasing down the number 7 entry at Maxi Marshall with Dimitri Agathos just in front of them of that battle. So how about we tune in, even though we haven't been commentating much, but I tell you what, all this trivia has made me thirsty and I need to go and fill up my water bottle. How about we jump on board with your man we just had on screen, the number 5 of Andy Barber, and do a couple of laps around Texas Motor Speedway. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, a couple of laps around Texas Motor Speedway with the number 5 Southern Stars Racing entry of the man himself, Andy Barber. So we're back, and Paul, thank you for that, mate. I need to get a little bit of a drink. All this knowledge going into my brain tonight has made me very thirsty. So I hope you have learnt something here on the stream tonight, mate, as we see Norman Clark still leading this motor race from the 02 of Darren McKenzie and Ray Zerkut, your 3. As Darren McKenzie makes the move now through turns 1 and 2 of the Texas Motor Speedway. So nothing different here. The 02 to the point once again of round 2 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. Looks like Norman Clark has got Ray Zerkut now fighting him for that 2nd position through the 3 and 4 turns, and Ray's going to make the move up into the 2nd place. This is going to allow Ruben Phelps onto that inside line out of 4 through the tri-oval, the Texas Motor Speedway, as they come across for what is lap 58 of 134, and the 06 of Ruben Phelps just making the move up onto the back end of that provisional podium position in the 3rd, but the 09 of Norman Clark getting a good run there off the turn 2 exit as Sam Katakouzenos just jumps up to that outside line trying to get into the draft of Norman Clark. But Ray Zerkut looking really racy on the inside there of the 02 of Darren McKenzie through the tri-oval of Texas Motor Speedway once again, and he took the lead of this motor race in the 22 entry across the tri-oval. So Looks like he's just made his way up into first and's going to clear the 0-2 of Darren McKenzie on the exit of turn 1 and 2 as they go down the back straight with 3 wide in the background. Lachlan Capel a part of that as well. Kobe Jordan, Maxi Marshall is a part of that. But we're still back at the point. There we go. We go back to that battle. They've got through 3 and 4 cleanly. So looks like we're still going green here on the InterSim Esports Network. Young Lachlan Capel in the 40 entry. The M&M's entry up into 9th position. So he's up 26 spots on his starting position. Steve Hoppert has tuned in here Ryan Barber has tuned in. He must have watched my stream last week. He asked me, have I sat down yet? Ryan, I did for the questions, mate, because I took in that much knowledge that my head got heavy and I had to sit down, but I'm standing up again. I'm standing up again for you, mate, and I'm commentating in the standing position as per normal because I've got 3 or 4 screens going at once. See, I can now multitask as well, so look at me go. But, mate, we're going Lachlan Capel now. Has just moved back to the 11th position, but back at the front, Ray Zerkup, Darren McKenzie, Norman Clark. Brett Campbell here, we'll stay on board with him for a little bit if we can, Paul. We'll give you a little bit of an insight into Brett Campbell, currently down into the 19th position. He is actually one of the newest recruits to Aussie Esports there. You can see Brett in the familiar Aussie Esports colours, half New Zealand, half Australia. You probably already know that that is mine and Ruben's team. So Brett Campbell has come across and joined Aussie Esports as well as Tristan Koch. So we've seen a few movements in the paddock lately with Michael Shaw making his way across to Southern Stars Racing, and Aussie Esports is exactly the same. We're having a couple of new recruits there. So Brett Campbell having a nice little solid run there up into the 20th position, up 6 spots. He'll be looking for a clean one. Shannon Blackburn just down there in the 27th position at the moment in the 222 entry. So Shannon Blackburn is the last car on the lead lap at the moment. He looks like he's got a little bit of damage there on the right-hand front of that motor car. So now we go to Brett Elder. Have a look, and we just like to give you a little bit here on the InterSim Esports Network of every little bit of battle going on. So Brett Elder at the moment is having a nice little battle there with the 18 of Jamie Nankervis, and this is for the 23rd and 24th position of the motor race. We'll see whether Brett Elder can get that done, but it looks like Jamie Nankervis has just that little bit more pace as they make their way through the tri-oval. So back to the battle here, and Joshua Carroll-Warden there in the Natari Autosports entry in the 14th position. He's got young Lachlan Capel, Maxi Marshall right in front of him. Looks like JCW has a little bit of a scrub mark there on the left-hand side. I'm not sure whether I'm seeing that correctly as we see someone come into pit lane. He's going to get an unsafe entry into that one. I don't know if Norman has brought that caution out and unfortunately came into pit lane. And if that's the case, that's unfortunate for the 09 entry because he will get yet another penalty for going into the pit lane incorrectly. So we'll go back and see what brought that caution out, Paul. So we're going through, just trying to find where that one is. We can see like it's already happening in front of us. And it looks like Daniel Beckinsale and Daniel Beckinsale and Norman Clark might have been a part of that one. So Daniel Beckinsale looks like, as we go forward, has got into the rear of the 09 and Norman Clark. Like Norman Clark was getting ready to enter pit lane, and your reigning championship winner, Daniel Beckinsale, has got into the rear, and it looks like that green and black car has got into the rear of Norman as well. So not good for those guys. But we saw Daniel there's another big accident. Matt Payton, there's 3, 4. JCW's just launched down the main straight. So it's all happening here for round 2 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. And I tell you what, we'll go back and have a look what happened to JCW because there was 2 separate incidents there. And he'll come out of the 3 and 4 turns. Beckinsale slow on the outside. Oh, Lachlan Capel in the 7. No, that's not Lachlan Capel. Sorry, that's Maxi Marshall, I believe. Not sure. But the 35 there, JCW's got caught in that one, and it just grabbed him and catapulted him backwards. And that's going to be Night Irene for the 35 entry of Joshua Carroll-Walden. So unfortunate there for Josh. Paul, yet another caution. That's 17 cautions is looking very, very likely.
Well, I hate to break it to you, I've lost count, so I don't even know where we're up to. So let's just go with we're at 10. So must be close.
Well, hey, you gave the question, and how are we going to answer it if you're not keeping track? God, our podcast is looking great already, Paul.
I'm going to have to Google it. Someone Google it quick.
Can you quickly Google it? Can someone Google how many cautions we've had on the Indosim Esports Network tonight? See what comes up. So there we go. But you know what that means. No, let's just go back. I don't know if we can, Paul. Yeah, let's talk to a driver. We did have someone say, let's go and the in-car footage from JCW. That'd be insane. But let's go back and have a look at that. That's good. So we'll go back and have a look, and we'll grab JCW if he is actually in the chat. We'll see whether he's up here. He might have got off in disgust, so he is there. We'll bring him down into the broadcast booth. He'd be in a great mood at the moment. So we bring him down into the broadcast booth. Joshua Carroll-Walden, JCW, mate. Wrong place, wrong time. Tell you what, that outside wall grabbed you.
Yeah, man, it did. It was a bit unfortunate, really, but something happened up front, and that just caused a chain reaction. And as we all know, that travel section's quite tight, so all the lanes filled up pretty quickly.
Well, mate, I'm glad we've got you here on the Indosim Esports Network, because you come in on a great night in one of our best broadcasts ever. We've created a new thing called Indosim Esports Trivia. And Joshua Carroll-Walden, I know you love your NASCAR racing, and you're across a lot of things in NASCAR, mate. So, while you're under caution, it looks like you've got a lot of damage there. Would you mind being a part of our little Indosim Esports Trivia night tonight?
Yeah, sure.
All right, mate. So we've already answered this question before, and our viewers have tuned in and told us what they thought, and they've got the right answer. We had Derek Jacobs jump in and answer another question before that we asked him. So we'll ask you another one and see whether you can come up with the right answer. So, what is the only track that is still on the current NASCAR series, like in the real world, that was in the first ever NASCAR championship that is still running?
That would be Martinsville Raceway.
There we go. I didn't think anything less of you, Josh. I knew you'd get that one, mate. There you go. So, see, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Race car drivers are not simple. Joshua Carroll-Walden, he got that without Google. So there you go. we might have to invite you into our non-existent Indosim Esports trivia podcast that we've been joking about doing. But well done to you, Josh, mate. Unfortunate way to talk to you tonight in all seriousness, and you were doing well and making your way up the field. Little bit of, just quickly, we got you before we go back green. You did run at the Charlotte Roval last night. I obviously went and did something else because I didn't want to ruin the chase. People, how'd you go in that one, mate?
Yeah, man. Kept the car clean last night and managed to finish in P7, so quite happy with that, because if everyone's done 45 laps of the Roval, they know it's hard work.
Yeah, definitely is, mate, and better you than me, but nice solid P7 position there, mate, and good for you for your chase aspirations in that series. But, mate, thanks for making yourself available. We'll throw you back up into a channel. Hopefully it's the right one, because the boys are about to go green once again.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
No worries. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. The entry of the 35 Natari Autosport of Joshua Carroll-Walden as we're green once again here for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. It's Ray Zurkart who brung us to the pole once again, Kobe Jordan second, Joe Terra third, Garth Duffy fourth, Graham Ellis your 5. As we're already 70 laps into 134, Paul, it doesn't seem like we've seen much racing as we're 3 wide down the back straight of Texas Motor Speedway. So we have Ruben Phelps a part of that one as well. Darren McKenzie there 2 wide with Sam Katakouzanos. So Sam Katakouzenos has Brett Elder in front of him, but Ruben Phelps has cleared this little battle at the moment. Darren McKenzie slowly going backwards from the front of this one, but he'll be there at the end. They'll definitely have another set of tyres in the bank ready to go. So Sam Katakouzenos trying to make the move, and he's going to go 3 wide down the back straight of Texas as they make contact, and we're nearly under yellow again. But Sam Katakouzenos with a great driving there to avoid what would have been yet another massive wreck here at the Texas Motor Speedway on the Indesim Esports Network. Tom Pritchard you saw ranging up in the background there, but the number 8 there, Michael Budge, making his way through. He's got Dimitri Agathos there coming up, as well as we're 3 wide down into turn 1. Once again, that looks like that is a Aussie Esports entry there of Tristan Koch. So Tristan Koch having a great run after being caught up in an incident earlier, moving up into the 11th position. So go Aussie Esports, a little bit biased there, Paul. But Tristan having a great one, but I tell you what, he was very aggressive with that move down into turn 1 and 2. As we see, Ruben to the front. Looks like we've got an accident. We've got someone in the wall, in the ball, and Bin Chicane racing up into the wall. Did they hold it? That's going to cause a caution once again as the 187 goes around 73 laps into 134, and we're cautioned once again, Paul.
Ooh, I just saw that one in the background there unfolding and managed to grab that, so we'll go watch the replay on how that actually did unfold.
Definitely. So the 187 just gets into the outside wall there. Darren McKenzie might have been a part of that one as well on the inside, so we didn't quite catch that one. But then we see Michael Budge on the outside just trying to avoid that one. That's going to send him up into turn 1 and 2. We've got a car in the background there behind Michael Budge going up into the wall as well. Then the 187 there that got into the wall earlier just rotates the car up into that outside wall, and that's what will bring out whatever number caution we have again here on the Indesim Esports Network. But never fear, Schultze's here, and it's trivia time again. 74 into 134. I'm sure you're liking all the trivia and keeping you company here on the Indesim Esports Network as we see the 06 of Ruben Phelps, who is leading this motor race 75 laps into 134. So this question, Paul, is for all the lady viewers out there. Well, not just the lady viewers, as we it's gender neutral here on the Indesim Esports Network, but it is a female-related question as such. Well, it is actually a full female-related question. So it's a 2-part question, and we need you to answer it. Please just try and guess it and don't Google it, but I know you will. But anyway, who was the first female driver to win a NASCAR race, and in what year was it? Paul, you get first shot.
Oh.
And in saying this, you'll know that this is the criteria, but the viewers might not. In saying this, it can be aired across any of the NASCAR series, whether it be Xfinity, whether it be Cup Car, whether it be trucks.
Well, I'm going to have to go with the beautiful Natalie Decker.
Natalie Decker. No, she was a good driver in her own right, Paul, but good guess. But no, it wasn't Natalie Decker, mate. She was not. Well, at least that's not what my answer says. So Natalie Decker is not the answer of the first female to win a NASCAR race across one of their series. So we'll just give it a couple of minutes as we're under caution here, watching the 06 of Ruben Phelps making his way around for what is now the 76th lap of 134. Well, the viewers go and find out the answer of who was the first female winner of a NASCAR race and what year was it? And Hayley Deegan is not the right answer, Ryan, because she has not won a race in either trucks, Xfinity, or Cup Cars yet. So she is not the answer. It was possibly before your time, Ryan. That'll give you a little bit of a hint, mate. So before your time on who it was, as we're still under yellow. So, Paul, I'll give you another chance to have another guess, if you'd like to. Hayley Deegan's been one guess. You've had your first guess. TJ Pollard said Hayley Deegan again as well. No, TJ, she has not won in one of the top 3 leagues of NASCAR, which would be Cup, Xfinity, or Trucks. So not Hayley Deegan, but I'll guarantee you she's not far away from one of her first truck wins there in the number 1 entry. So Danica Patrick, Margaret Shannon. No, she did not win a NASCAR race. Danica Patrick didn't. She did get a pole position, I believe, at Talladega or Daytona at one stage. And we've had the first person win. Ryan Barber's been on Google. So good old Google. But answering Margaret, no, Danica Patrick was not the first winner as we're about to go green. So the answer to the question, Ryan Barber and TJ Bollard have come in. Shauna Robinson is correct. She was the first winner of a NASCAR race. It was in a NASCAR Touring Series event. She also earned Rookie of the Year and Most Popular Driver honours that year, and that year was 1988. So there you go, a little bit of useless information once again here on the Intersim Esports Network. And TJ Pollard, there's that virtual 1 point to you tonight. So you're actually winning tonight, you're 2, and someone else has won, I think Greg or something, but he doesn't get that point because he cheated and he admitted to it. So Greg, you're back to 0. So we're about to go green, Paul, again here on the Intersim Esports Network. 77 of 134, mate. It's been yellow after yellow after yellow tonight. Hopefully we can get some green flag running in this one.
Yeah, hopefully, but this time round, Ruben Phelps will be taking us to the green. So your teammate Ruben there having a good run up into P1.
Yeah, Ruben Phelps will take us to the green, Paul, and he's having a great run tonight. He came back, like I said, with a solid P5 last night in the truck series. Unfortunately, he had to be the bridesmaid to myself in third. He won't like me saying that, but he had a very quick truck last night. So no surprise to see Ruben at the front of this one. Kobe Jordan there, after starting off the pole of this one in third position. He's trying to make a move on the 080 of Ray Zerkut there at the moment. So Kobe Jordan looks like he's going to make that move. He's just dragging the 02 of Darren McKenzie up to the point of this one. It's allowing Ruben to just get that little bit of a gap at the moment at the front, but he's still going to have that draft. Kobe's still going to have the draft on Darren McKenzie, on Ruben Phelps. So don't be surprised we see this gap between first and second really range up and close down as they get some green flag laps in this one. Look who's making his way up to the front. It is the 550 Aussie Esports entry of Tristan Koch. He's been sort of just floating around there all night, but he's on that low line at the moment and he's coming up to the point of this one. So we won't focus on Aussie Esports as it's my team. We'll go to someone else. But Tristan Koch with a good run. Lachlan Capel there in that M&M's entry, making his way up the inside, I believe, of the Lachlan Capel of Garth Duffy in the 71. Jamie Nankervis following suit there and making position as well, as we're too wide as per usual down the back straight of the Texas Motor Speedway. Dimitri Agathos, you can see there, I believe, in the 66 entry, and we've gone caution once again tonight. So, caution once again tonight, Paul. Go back and see what brought out your, I'd say it'd be in the teens by now, but one of many cautions tonight here on the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. So we go across to the caution and we'll see how that plays out. So they're going down the back straight. We're on board with Greg Spencer. Sam Katakuzanos with a big incident, big tank slapper down the back straight of Texas Motor Speedway, and the green and black car, I believe that was the one involved in the incident earlier. The 222 involved in that. Greg Spencer with his second big ride tonight. And that's night over for Greg Spencer, the second time he's had another big collision with the wall at Texas Motor Speedway. Norman Clark in the background there getting out of trouble there and not getting involved. So the 30 of Greg Spencer not having a good run in this one tonight. Unfortunate for Greg. So, Paul, we have people in the stream that we've been doing the Intersim Esports Network trivia tonight, and we've now changed it. They're asking who people think their top three will be tonight, since there's been all the cautions. So who do you think will be your top three, Paul, here for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series?
Ooh, top three. Well, I think firstly I'm going to have to put Ray Zurkart there from the US in as one of the drivers that's going to finish in the top three. He's had a solid running. He's currently sitting there in P6. I've seen him up the front there and sort of P2, and also leading the race for a little bit as well. Another driver I think that we'll see in the top three. I think that we will see Andy Barber. I think Andy Barber will get there in the top three as well. He's currently there in fifth. He's been having a pretty good run, starting out in 19th there. He's up in fifth. And driver number three, I think we will see Kobe Jordan. So Kobe Jordan started on pole, and yeah, he's had a pretty good race. He's still sitting up there in third, so I think Kobe Jordan will be up there too.
Nice solid picks there, mate. Other people in the stream, Ryan Barbers says Darren McKenzie will win this one. Tommy Pritchard will come home in P2, and he's not going to say who will come home in P3. We all know who Ryan Barber is probably saying that is, so we won't say the name just to help Ryan out there. Greg Spencer, the man who's hit the wall twice tonight, he says not me. So there you go, Greg. Wonder if you Googled that one, mate, like you Googled the questions, because you got that one right, mate. So you won't be the winner of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series at the Texas Motor Speedway. And I'll give you my three. I think we're going to see Dimitri Agathos will come away with the win on this one. Ruben Phelps P2, and we will see Kobe Jordan hold on for a well-deserved podium after starting on pole position, Paul.
Yep, pretty good picks there. But trivia again, Aiden. Oh, I'm going to get a question here.
Yep, bring it away, fire away on the Intersim Esports Network Trivia Night.
One of the older legends of NASCAR there. So, which driver has the most wins without a championship?
The most wins without a championship. Oh, I can't Google that one, and I'm not going to.
Fairly old driver. I'll give you a bit of a hint there.
Well, it's not Allison, because he won one. It's not Earnhardt, because he won one, or won several. Fairly old driver. Waltrip. Michael Waltrip. I knew I'd be wrong, but that's wrong. So, of course, as always, we'll hand over to the viewers real quickly, but we're about to go green here once again for the NASCAR Next Gen Series, brought to you by the simrigs.com. Off the point will be Darren McKenzie. Tom Pritchard will take up the second on the outside position of that front row. Kobe Jordan, Dimitri Agathos will bring up the second row. Andy Barber, Ray Zurkart, 5 and 6. Lachlan Cable, solid drive, will start out of 7th. Jamie Nankervis out of 8th in the 18 entry. Justin Witcher and Ruben Phelps will round out your 10. Steve Hoppert has jumped into the chat as always, and his guess is Bobby Allison, Paul.
Well, Bobby Allison is incorrect, Steve.
Don't, Steve. Negative 1 point for Steve Hoppert here on the Intersim Esports Network Trivia Night. So sorry about that, Steve, as we go green once again here at Texas Motor Speedway for round 2 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. And it is the 02 Southern Stars Racing entry of Darren McKenzie leading the way at Southern Stars Racing 1 and 2. Tom Pritchard in number 6 there, making his way into the second position. Kobe Jordan. Racy is always in this one, up in third, but he's now being hassled by Andy Barber, the other Southern Stars Racing entry in the number 5 there as they make their way through the 3 and 4 turns for the 85th time of 134 laps here. So it is a Southern Stars Racing 1, 2, 3 at the moment. And in fourth position is the 66 of Dimitri Agathos from Bim Chicane Racing. So he's making his way up through the field at the moment. Lachlan Capel, another one of my picks, slowly coming forward into this one as he's moved his way up into the 5th position on the inside of he's on the inside of Kobe Jordan there as my stream just keeps freezing a little bit. So I will just bring that up and have a look at that. So I'll just catch up with you, Paul, as we're still on board. Just looks like my internet's running very slow, Paul, and it looks like you're going to have to take over from me right now because I can't see anything on my screen.
Alrighty, well, currently we got Darren McKenzie, Tom Pritchard and Andy Barber, 3 of the Southern Stars Racing teams, currently P1, 2 and 3, so great showing from that team there. Dimitri Agathos, Ben Chicane's looking to try and make the move on Andy Barber there for that 3rd spot. He's just getting his nose up the inside and looks like he's going to get the run out of turn 2 there, down the back straight. He's got Lachlan Capel there behind him, trying to give him a bit of push. And looks like he can't quite get the job. Can't quite get the job done on Andy yet, so he's just going to slot back in.
Don't know if you can hear me there, Paul, but I'm back with you, mate. Yeah, the internet is playing up a little bit, so I do apologise about that. You can still hear me, but the stream is freezing for me at the moment, but it looks like it's coming back to life. Don't know what's happened. Could be a little bit overcast, but it's coming back to life here, so we should be right to keep going. So I'll just close that one down once again and watch and see what happens. As if it does go on me, Paul, I will reset it and I will come straight back to you. So I do apologise about that one, mate.
No worries, Aiden. Well, while you get yourself sorted, I'll jump back here. So, got a bit of a second pack now. The front pack there of the top 7 drivers have broken away. So, Kobe Jordan currently leading the second pack in P8 with Ruben Phelps and Razor Cut there, tucked in behind Tristan Koch as well. So, bit of a breakaway pack there at the front for 7 cars. And this is again another little small pack here of about 7 or 8 cars. So we've just got a
it is a breakaway at the front.
About 2 seconds.
The 7 cars, Paul. I'll keep going on what you're saying because I can't see any of the action. So if you can hear me, just say yes, and I'll keep just talking with you at the moment.
Looks like Dimitri Agathos has now moved his way up into P3. So he's finally got the move done.
I'm going to have to reboot, and I might have to reboot. It keeps to freezing with me, so what I might have to do is I might have to reboot. I'll keep trying as much as I can, but if you give me 5 minutes, I'll just go reboot and I'll be right back to you.
No worries, Aiden. You go sort yourself, and yeah, I'll try and keep everyone entertained as much as I can. So Darren McKenzie still leading this race on lap 93 with Tom Pritchard in second. Dimitri Agathos finally making that move on Andy Barber for the top 3. Justin Witcher's found his way into P6. So Jamie Nankovich just slowly dropping off the pack here. So it's about half a second there behind Justin Witcher in 6th spot. So what was a 7-car breakaway is now becoming a 6-car breakaway as Jamie's just hanging on the back there. And 3-second lead to Garth Duffy now, who's made his way to the front of the second pack here. Ruben Phelps, Tristan Koch, just following Garth, trying to catch up to the back of Jamie. Kobe Jordan just dropping back from the front of the second pack here, so looks like 6 car in this second pack there. Just in the background you've got Michael Shaw and Maxi, no, that's a lapped car there of Dave Oliver in front of Michael Shaw there. So Michael Shaw about 2 seconds off the pack, the second pack there. And what started out as a 40 car race, we now only have 18 cars on the lead lap. So coming to lap 96 now. So only 18 cars still on that lead lap from 40 starters. Now Jamie's still hanging on the back there, so it's about 700ths off the back there of Lachlan Capel. So still just trying to hang on there. Doesn't want to lose this battle pack, otherwise he'll be dropping right back into the clutches of Garth Duffy. The last time round for pit lane, so Darren McKenzie, Tom Pritchard and Dimitri Agathos, along with Andy Barber, Lachlan Capel and Jamie Nankervis, they all pitted on lap 66, so they've now done 33 laps without a pit stop, whereas Justin Witcher there sitting in 4th, actually last pitted on lap 74. So Justin Witcher, another 8 laps of fuel in the tank for Justin over the leaders of this race. So Justin's sitting in a pretty good spot there at the moment. And hopefully Aiden's making his way back to the broadcast booth shortly. Just had some technical difficulties, so Aiden's just having a bit of a restart to try and get his connection working a bit better and get back to the booth. And looks like Jamie's now dropped off that pack there, so 1.5 seconds now to the back of that pack. So Jamie just dropping back. And Garth Duffy having a pretty good breakaway here from the second pack as well. So Garth Duffy now got 1.7 over Tristan Koch, who's making the moves there on Kobe Jordan. So I think a few cars, we might have seen a few cars make their way into pit lane. So Ruben Phelps is in pit lane currently. So a few guys making a fuel stop, I think, to get home. To lap 103, Darren McKenzie still leading the way here. So not much happening at the way of the front here for position changes, but Justin Witcher there still looking good with his fuel run. So an extra 8 laps there in the tank. And I've got to apologise, I can't see the comments. I've got a fair bit going on at the moment, trying to keep up while Aiden's just MIA for a few. So if you are commenting and tuning into the InterSim Esports Network for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series, I do apologise, but I think Aiden is making his way back to the booth. But as I say that, Dimitri Agathos now making the moves onto Tom Pritchard on the inside. Getting a little bit loose there in the corner.
I am back, Paul. Thanks for covering me off there. Not only do we have Intersim trivia, and we're men of many trades here, I'm now a virtual Steve Irwin, as I've just had to kill a huntsman the size of my palm. Well, I've been trying to reconnect to the internet, so I'm now currently standing on my sim chair. I wish we could have brought that on our so-called podcast, but mate, we're back racing. Looks like we've got some green action. 105 laps of 134. As I just bring up the live timing, so Justin Witcher is making the moves there in third place. Darren McKenzie at the point of this one from Dimitri Agathos. So Darren McKenzie, Agathos and Witcher, your top three. Lachlan Capel at the moment making having a battle there with the 5 of Andy Barber. So Lachlan Capel just getting the better of that one. But yes, I'm back with you, Paul. Thank you so much for covering me on that one.
Yep, and yeah, not an easy feat there to commentate and do the cameras for a period of time there. So yeah, not an easy job, Aidan. So good to have you back.
Yeah, mate. Sometimes the old World Wide Web decides to let us down, even though it kept a lot of our viewers entertained, able to give us the answers. But mine decided to have a thought of its own and stuff up. So I've reset the modem now and we're good to go. And I've come back at the exciting time, 107 of 134. Darren McKenzie, Agathos and Witchy are top three in this one. Looks like the guys are going really well at the moment, but Dimitri Agathos looking very racy up the back of Darren McKenzie as we go caution once again, Paul. So we'll go back and have a look at what happened with that one down the back stretch as we see, some of the leaders. Dimitri Agathos didn't see because of the smoke, and he's hit the outside wall there. So your second place in the motor race, the 66 Bin Chicane Racing entry of Dimitri Agathos. Looks like he got into the wall there trying to avoid that incident. So we'll go back, if we can, Paul, and have a look what brought out the incident for the next time here on the Intersim Esports Network. So it looks like we've got Aussie Esports there's going to get caught up in that one. And he's just missed Steve McLennan there as he's got into the wall on the outside. He's spun down onto the inside wall. He's moving back up on track at the moment in front of the guys there. And bang! His teammate in the 187 just collects him in the 555. Once again, involved in that one. So we are yellow once again here on the Intersim Esports Network for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. Let's see if Dimitri Agathos makes his way through there. He misses contact, but he's just going to clout the outside wall. And that is not going to be good for the 66 of Dimitri Agathos. When we go green, he's going to have a lot of repair work for that Bin Chicane racing car under this caution period as he goes into pit lane now, Paul. But we're 110 into 134. That's one of my picks, possibly out of contention for the win in this one, as we see a car smoking behind the pace car at the moment. I'd suggest that is the Steve McLennan entry there. So Garth Duffy currently at the lead of this one, but we'll just wait and see how this all plays out under safety car and these guys pit. So not the way that these guys wanted. I reckon we're very close to that 17 mark that one of the viewers said in relation to cautions tonight, Paul.
I think you might be right there, Aidan. We've had a few cautions tonight. Usually it's not this like this, but whoop, my mouse just getting a bit of a click there on the wrong thing. Yeah, usually not like this for the league, but this is only round 2. We do have quite a large field compared to last season. So we've got 40 drivers in both the first and second round. So got probably about another 10 cars odd to what we had in the first season.
Yeah, most definitely. And there's probably only going to be 12 cars on the lead lap. I see Ruben Phelps is now 4 laps down. I'm not sure if I missed something while I was away from the 06 of Ruben Phelps, but he's gone 4 laps down. But we'll bring Dimitri Agathos into the booth, and we've done it unannounced, so we do apologise, Dimitri, but you're down there in pit lane for what I'd imagine taking some repairs, mate. But you're up into second in that motor race. The caution came out and the lap before, and as you come down onto the back stretch of the Texas Motor Speedway, it looks like there was a bit of smoke you couldn't quite see, and did a good job of missing that car turning right, but that's just sent you into the outside wall at the end of the back straight.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the race was coming together nicely. I had good pace there, and on that long run, which was probably the first long run we had all race. And then we're just waiting for either a caution or to let the fuel run out, and we would have pitted. Unfortunately, that caution's happened in front of me, and I backed off obviously with the caution, and I was just seeing what was happening, and I saw cars everywhere, and then a car in front accelerated into the wall and then back down the road, and I kind of at that point I was on the brakes and I was trying to work out where he was going, and he just stopped, and I tried to avoid him and I hit the wall. Got about 6 minutes of required repairs, so the race is done for me.
That's not the way that you wanted the 66 entry from Bin Chicane Racing to end this one. You were actually one of my picks in the broadcast, mate, to finish in the top three. So I hope I didn't put the commentator's curse on you, but you definitely did have a very quick car in that one. But you still do have one of your Bin Chicane Racing guys up there still in contention for that one. That's the number 8 of Michael Budge, mate. You've obviously been in communication with Michael. How's he feeling towards the end of this one with the cars? The attrition rate in this one being quite heavy for what generally is not a track that creates this amount of cautions.
He's just been staying out of trouble, and to the best of his ability. We've actually got Garth Duffy leading the race, and he's he disconnected earlier on. He went a couple laps down, got a few lucky dogs, and got back in it, and he's now leading. So he's playing a decent strategy at the moment, and we'll see how he turns out. But all of them are doing well.
Yeah, we do have Garth Duffy there. Sorry, I missed out on Garth. He had a solid night in the trucks coming home in P2, I think, or something last night. I'm not quite sure. Sorry, it's Tim Weston, but Garth having a good solid night tonight, mate. But Dimitri, thanks for making yourself available here in the Indosim Esports Network. Bad luck with your run tonight, mate. It's one of those nights or occasions of so close, but so far, and we look forward to seeing you not only in the Blendline TV Pro Car GTE Championship on Tuesday night, but also back here again for the Simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series next Friday night.
Yeah, thanks you guys. Yeah, obviously both of those into Sim broadcasted, and we thank you guys for that coming on board for that Blendline Pro Car one.
No worries, mate. Well, they're about to go green. We'll jump you back up into your channel. Hopefully it's the right one. We'll put you in Bin Chicane Racing 1, and we'll see you on Tuesday night and then back here again on Friday night.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen, the 66 entry of Dimitri Agathos from Bin Chicane Racing as they go green. Once again, it is his teammate, the 71 of Garth Duffy, which will make his way in the lead of this motor race through turns 1 and 2. Once again, 113 laps now into 134. Darren McKenzie in second position, just nice and quietly all race. He'll be looking racy, trying to make the move down the back straight. And just as I say that, he does that and moves the 02 Southern Stars Racing car to the point of this one once again. Look at that, the 21 of Justin Witcher has made his way up in behind Darren McKenzie. Looks like they're on alternate strategies here with Garth Duffy making his way backwards. Lachlan Capel now coming up into the podium position, but look who's behind them. The 2 Southern Stars entries of Tom Pritchard and Andy Barber, the 6 and number 5 entry, right up behind Lachlan Capel in third position. So it's Southern Stars 1, 4 and 5 at the moment, with the 21 of Justin Witcher and Lachlan Capel being the 2 cars separating those guys at the moment. So as we are 114 into 134, don't be surprised, ladies and gentlemen, if we get a Southern Stars Racing 1, 2, 3, and it would be the first time since their inception that the Southern Stars Racing team would get a 1, 2, 3. It's hard enough to get a P1, let alone a podium, let alone 3 cars on the podium from one team. So we'll see whether the guys can do that for Southern Stars Racing tonight. But the 21 of Justin Witcher and the 40 of Lachlan Capel will definitely have something to say about that, as we see the 21 of Justin Witcher ranging right up onto the back of Darren McKenzie. So Justin Witcher just having a little bit of a higher line there out of 1 and 2 as he gets the run on the 0-2 of Darren McKenzie down the back stretch of Texas Motor Speedway. They make their way through 3 and 4 once again. This is allowing Lachlan Capel to range right up onto the back of Justin Witcher. It's now a 4-way, now 5-way fight for the lead of this one as they go 117 into 134. Looks like this 5-car battle has just made a little bit of a gap off the 6th place 550 Aussie Esports entry of Tristan Koch last time around. Tristan was actually 2 tenths quicker than this battle in front, so don't be surprised if the 550 makes this a 6-car battle for the lead of the motor race. But it still is Darren McKenzie leading the way here as the Southern Stars Racing guys are really working together there in the 3rd and 4th position now on their way down through the tri-oval. But Tristan Koch, as we saw earlier, with a big lunge into 1 and 2, and he's collected Andy Barber. Or was that Tom Pritchard? Not sure, but we stay green. Andy Barber. So he's now moved back. Tristan Koch, he sent it hard up into 1 and 2. I'm sure the post-race stewards will be having a look at that one as they made contact through 1 and 2. Michael Budge from Bin Chicane Racing there as well. Brett Campbell's in the background there, I believe, as well. He's having a nice run tonight also, but he is 1 lap down. So we are now 119 into 134. It's a battle of 4 at the front at the moment. Darren McKenzie, Witcher, Pritchard and Capel are the 4. Tristan Koch 1.3 seconds off the back of this battle at the moment, holding out the 5th position with Andy Barber back there in 6th. Brad Fenley, Garth Duffy, Jamie Nankervis and Michael Budge are your 10. But Darren McKenzie still leading the way with Justin Witcher getting a nice run off turn 4 as they take lap 120 of 134. Through the tri-oval they go, and Justin Witcher in the 21 now goes to the point of this motor race with 14 laps to go, or 15 laps to go. Tom Pritchard slowly catching up onto the back of his Southern Stars Racing teammate of Darren McKenzie. So Justin Witcher is just about to feel the wrath of Southern Stars Racing as he has nobody else there to be able to help him, and you can see exactly that, ladies and gentlemen, as the Southern Stars Racing outfit take the draft around the outside out of 3 and 4 at the Texas Motor Speedway through the tri-oval once again, and it's now Southern Stars Racing back to the point of this one, Darren McKenzie and Tom Pritchard. But Justin Witcher, he's a racer. He's going to want to make this move and try and get back and become what would be the meat in the Southern Stars sandwich here. So he makes his way up the inside of Tom Pritchard there through 3 and 4. Looks like he's going to clear him on exit. So Justin Witcher, as they nearly make contact there out of the exit of 4. So great driving by both drivers there. That could have been a big one. Justin Witcher moves up into P2, but Tom Pritchard's going to want to make his move really quick to try and range up onto the back of Darren and help him as much as he can. But in saying that, if I was in Tom Pritchard's position, I would be pushing Justin Witcher as hard as I can to the back of Darren McKenzie. But as I say that, he goes up the inside of Justin Witcher through 3 and 4. He's not happy to sit in that 3rd position and try and use the draft to range up onto the back of his teammate, Darren McKenzie. But they make their way through the tri-oval once again, and we're 123 or 134, 12 laps to go here on the IndySim Esports Network. Round 2 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series as they get high through turns 1 and 2. Really, really good driving not to make contact there. Darren McKenzie's going to love the side of that lap car in front of him. Not often you say that, but he's going to take as much draft as he can down the back straight as he did there, which sees him stretch that gap out at the front now to 0.75 of a second. And even more, he's got a car between him and 2nd and 3rd in this motor race as Justin Witcher has made the move back into 2nd. That's allowed Lachlan Capel to jump into the back of this battle as well. So Lachlan Capel in the 40 has ranged up onto the back of Tom Pritchard. They make their way down the back straight. Once again, the lap car doing the right thing and getting out of the road. So that looks like that is Matt Payton getting out of the road. It's a good job by young Matt there. So Justin Witcher, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. This is the battle of the motor race at the moment. Darren McKenzie's just reined back in a little bit. He's just dropped 2.5 tenths of a second that lap, ladies and gentlemen. You can see how much of a benefit you get with the draft in these next-gen cars, especially down this back straight at Texas Motor Speedway. Darren McKenzie pulled out 0.2 tenths of a second once again through 1 and 2, but down the back straight, they pull another 1/10 of a second out of him. So it's a yo-yo here at the front. They've now dropped another 1/10 out. My live timing is slowly dropping. It's down to nearly 4 tenths of a second. Justin Witcher ranging back up onto the back of Darren McKenzie with the help of the Southern Stars number 6 entry of Tom Pritchard. So Tom Pritchard doing exactly as I suggested, sitting in there, line astern and trying to work together or work in the draft. That's the only way they're going to catch Darren McKenzie. It's now down to 0.39 seconds, the gap between first, second and third, with Lachlan Capel just dropping slightly off the back of that battle at the moment. This time through the tri-oval and across the strike, we're 127 into 134, and it's definitely battling, heating up at the front rather. It was down to 0.2 of a second through the tri-oval that time round. Justin Witcher onto the back straight with Tom Pritchard right in behind him. We'll see whether that gap comes down again. So don't take your eyes away from the stream, ladies and gentlemen, whether you're tuning in here on Facebook or YouTube, whatever platform you see fit. Do not take your eyes off this battle, because what is a battle for second and third is about to turn into a battle for first, second, third and fourth. Who's going to be the winner of round 2 of the SimRigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series here on the InterSim Esports Network? A night that we've seen full of cautions, full of drama. It's a script that you couldn't write here on the InterSim Esports Network. We've had everything. We've had trivia. We've had drivers answer trivia. We've had useless information that you can go to bed tonight and go to sleep and know that you know that useless trivia and feel better about yourself. But I tell you what, it's all about the battle for the lead of the motor race at the moment. Darren McKenzie, Witcher, Pritchard and Capel, as it's now definitely a 4-way battle for the lead of this motor race. We're possibly going to see a new championship leader, ladies and gentlemen, as we go into round 3, as Nigel Payton is not here tonight after winning round 1. So we're going to see a new championship leader. Who's that going to be? All that will be played out at the end of this broadcast, as there's a lot more to come yet. So Lachlan Capel's making the move on the inside of Tom Pritchard. This has allowed Justin Witcher and Darren McKenzie to get that gap at the front. So that gap at the front now has gone out to about 0.6 of a second. So Lachlan Capel makes that move there on Tom Pritchard into the 4th position. We'll see whether the 40 entry there of young Lachlan Capel has anything for the likes of Justin Witcher and Darren McKenzie as this race comes to a close. So through turn 3 and 4, once again, back marker up into the wall in front. So hopefully they make their way through there, which they do. Doesn't look like they have got in the road, so that's really good. Justin Witcher up onto the back. So we're 131 into 134. 5 to go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Steve, for the kind words, mate. Feel free to jump in one day and help us out, mate. We'd love that, because it's always good to have new faces here in the commentary booth, but don't take your eyes off the screen. The battle is between the 02 and the 21 of Justin Witcher and Darren McKenzie. I said that the wrong way around, but you know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen. Don't write off the 40 of Lachlan Capel there in the M&M's entry as he gets turned. He holds it. What great driving there by Lachlan Capel. Tom Pritchard gets right into the left-hand rear quarter of Lachlan Capel and said, come on, mate, go a bit faster. That was a bit naughty there by Tom Pritchard, but he doesn't want to readdress that one. He's still there in 3rd spot, so not sure whether Tom Pritchard in the number 6 Southern Stars racing car will get a post-race penalty from that one. I'm quite sure he may do, but I'm just the commentator, so take no notice of me unless it is, of course, trivia. 133 into 134 we go. 2 laps to go for what is round 2 of the SimRigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series here on the InterSim Esports Network. Darren McKenzie just holding that gap at about 0.3 of a second. Justin Witcher didn't follow him down the back straight then to try and get into that draft. It looks like Darren McKenzie has the gap needed to become a 2 from 2 winner. He was in the the Full Throttle Sim Racing League's truck race last night from Kansas and brought home the chocolates in P1, and it looks like he's in a good position to be able to do that once again 2 nights in a row tonight for what is the SimRigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. But Justin Witcher getting a big run down the back straight. Lap traffic going to play a part in this one as they make their way through 3 and 4. Justin Witcher getting a great run. He makes contact with Darren McKenzie. Tom Pritchard in the position, and Justin Witcher takes what is round 2 of the SimRigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. And what I must say, ladies and gentlemen, that is definitely provisional, because we did see a big bump and run there by Justin Witcher from the 21, and we saw Darren McKenzie also putting the 0-2 car there, not allowing him to get through. So all's fair in love and war, but we go back and have a look at how this one played out. So you can see the 21 on the inside of behind Darren McKenzie there. It looks like he just makes a tap on the left-hand rear of Darren, trying to say, come on, mate, I'm here. He follows it up. He straightens Darren up. But that allows Tom Pritchard in the 6 car, who does a great job to avoid that. And Tom Pritchard comes home in P2, and Darren McKenzie comes home in P3. So, Paul, a night that definitely started with a lot of stop-start action, trivia, everything going on here at the Indosim Esports Network. Definitely didn't disappoint here, as we've come accustomed to for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series.
Well, caution after caution. I didn't think I'd be holding on to the edge of my seat for that finish.
No, I definitely didn't. And with one to go, I wasn't expecting the 21 of Justin Witcher to get such a big run down there through the 3 and 4 turns. So he held off for that second last lap and just made that run when it counted. And of course, provisionally, we've seen the 21 Pinnacle Esports Racing entry of Justin Witcher once again at the point of the motor race. Darren McKenzie's not going to be happy with that one. Well, of course, he's going to be happy with a P3, but not going to be happy with the way that ended. And Tom Pritchard, just being there at the right time, did a great job to get through that one, to come through in P2. So we'll go through your unofficial standings here for the simrigs.com Next Gen Series Round 2 from Texas Motor Speedway. Justin Witcher takes your win from Tom Pritchard and Darren McKenzie, your 3. Lachlan Capel in 4 and Andy Barber will round out your top 5. Tristan Koch with a really solid drive from Aussie Esports tonight, coming home with a commendable 6th position with Brad Fenley in 7th. Jamie Nankervis there with a nice solid P8 drive. He'll be happy with that one. Michael Budge, it's the story of the Michaels for 9th and 10th tonight. Michael Budge and Michael Shaw round out your 10. Maxie Marshall will be home in the 11th position, with Kobe Jordan coming home in 12th. Garth Duffy in 13th. Brett Campbell in 14th. Another solid drive by Brett tonight. He'll be happy with that one. And Norman Clark with an unfortunate night tonight in the 0-9 entry, coming home in 15th. Sam Katakazunos, who we saw in a incident earlier, came home in the 16th position. Dave Oliver 17th, and Matt Elder came home in 18th as we roll across the page. In the 19th position was Bin Chicane Racing entry of Tim Weston, followed by his teammate Dimitri Agathos, who definitely was one of the hard luck stories tonight in 20th. In the 21st position was Ruben Phelps after a solid night early, ended not the way he would have liked, with Todd May in 22nd position. Ray Zerkut out of the United States of America, another solid night for him that didn't end up the way that he would have liked in 23rd. Graham Ellis finished in the 24th position. Joe Terra in 25th. Shannon Blackburn in the 26th spot. Daniel Beckinsale, your current reigning champion, with a bad night in the office in 27th. Matt Payton in 28th on what was a 40-car field, and we'll keep rolling over, Paul. I'll just keep rolling with it if that's okay with you. 29th was Steve McLennan, and Damon May rounds out your 30. Joshua Carroll Walden with a massive accident halfway through this race, comes home in 31st. 32nd will be Trav Mason. Graham Nucky in 33rd, Greg Spencer 34th, Mark Johansson 35th, Derek Jacobs 36th, Adam Marinovich in the 37th spot, Brian Bullock in 38th, and it looks like Adam Malone in the 39th position. And Brad Allison brings home the 40th position, 125 laps down. So that is your provisional standings here for what was a frantic yet exciting round 2 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series, Paul.
Hang on a sec. Yep,
that's right.
Got that. Yep. I hope we kept everyone entertained tonight with their trivia and what was a quite an unexpected event of the race. Quite a few cautions. Texas usually doesn't bring a lot of cautions like that. We've seen a lot of green flag racing at Texas before, with only maybe 1 or 2 cautions. So quite unexpected events tonight to come out of that race.
Yep, definitely, Paul. And like you said, Texas is not one usually to create that many cautions. If you're still tuning in here on the Indosim Esports Network, let us know how many cautions, because we did have a little bit of a our trivia night there about how many cautions. And thank you to my beautiful partner Prue for coming up with a lot of my questions and that idea. So I do thank you for that, because it definitely did bring a lot of content here on the InterSim Esports Network. But Paul, while I just start talking to our podium getters, I will get you to just have a little bit of a think and have a look at that live timing and have a think on who is going to get the Inside Lane Productions driver of the night. I'll let you select that one and let the viewers know. So I've just thrown you under the bus, as I always do, mate, and you have a think about that one as I just have a chat to Mr. Darren McKenzie, mate. You come off a nice solid win in the Full Throttle Sim Racing League's Truck Series last night from Kansas, and you back it up with what looked like you were going to go 2 from 2 again, as you did a couple of weeks ago on the Super Speedways, but a little bit of an incident there with Justin Witcher on the final turn. That's what sort of happens. You were both going for the win, but held on to the car and come home with P3.
Yeah, sort of. I was a bit annoyed in a bump and run, but I probably would have done the same thing if I was in his position. So, yeah, well done and congrats on the win.
Yeah, mate. We won't really concentrate on what was that incident. What we'll concentrate on is the race as a whole. Well, we let you just calm down a little bit on what turned out to be an absolutely frantic finish from what was a little bit of a mundane start to round 2 of the simrigs.com simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. Mate, you started pretty much up the front, not off the front row, but you're up there and thereabouts, as we become accustomed to see the 02 Southern Stars racing car do. You kept yourself at the front most of the race, as you seem to be comfortable doing that. You'll be the first to admit you like to race from the front, or at least close to the front. You sort of manage that race. I did say sometimes you struggle with tyres. You seem to get your head around that, especially over the last 6 months, and we're really seeing that with a lot more consistency, not only with the wins, but those consistent podiums. Do you think that played a part tonight with the way that the update with the next-gen cars happened in the last patch? Because these cars no doubt drive a lot differently to what they did last season for Season 1.
Yeah, I seem to be struggling for one lap pace, but overall, the whole run seems to be a lot nicer. The tyres, I think I run 60 laps on the first set, and they were down at about 80%. So they held on really good. And then I took a set and ran with till about 25 to go, I think, with them. So yeah, they were holding up real well. That's why I was a bit disappointed I couldn't hold on for the win, but yeah, tyres and the car was great.
Yeah, mate. Well, you definitely did have a nice quick car tonight there in the 02 Southern Stars Racing entry. You were very lucky there through the tri-oval at one stage during the race. I'm sure you had a car fly over your roof. They were wrecking through the tri-oval. So we just saw that on the broadcast, mate. So I bet you your eyes were shut and everything was crossed as you went through there.
Yeah, I did get a 4X for it. And when I went into the pits for the next time after that, I had no repairs at all. So I don't know whether it glitched out or what, but I got the 4X for contact, but no damage.
Well, very lucky there anyway, mate, but you've got to put yourself in the position to capitalise on those type of incidents, and you definitely did that tonight, mate. So once again, congratulations, not only on your P1 last night, but more importantly, your P3 tonight for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. Big shout out to those sponsors, teammates, and everyone involved, mate.
Yeah, just the Southern Stars Esports Racing Team. We've got Tiona Holiday Park, Mish's XL Garage, SkyPoint, and yeah, the broadcast crew at InterSim Esports Network and Full Throttle. Thank you.
You're more than welcome, mate. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. P3 for round 2 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. It is a 02 Southern Stars Racing entry of Darren McKenzie. As we move to your second place getter tonight, and it is none other than his Southern Stars Racing teammate, the number 6 entry of Tom Pritchard. Congratulations on a P2, Tom. I bet coming through the 3 and 4 turns, you weren't expecting all that to unfold in front of you.
The last lap was pretty intense. we got away with that. To have not ended up with 3 cars plastered into the wall, I think we were pretty lucky. But man, what a race! It was a crazy race. Cars going everywhere the whole time.
It was, mate. I'm sure you'll get a nice little giggle and a little bit of go get yourself a cup of coffee and a couple of biscuits or whatever. A cup of coffee and a couple of biscuits or whatever, and sit yourself back and watch that broadcast because you might be entertained in that one. But you're right, it had everything to it, and the end of it didn't disappoint, as it never does here on the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. I tell you what, the number 40, Lachlan Capel, then, the young fella definitely kept you honest at the end of that one.
Yeah, actually, it was. We were having quite a scrap, and I'll have to go have a look on the replay. I mean, there was a couple of laps before the end there. We were battling pretty hard, and I had to run up the inside, and I don't know whether he kind of came down or whether there was a bit of contact there, but yeah, it was one of those things where last few laps you're not lifting. But definitely it was hard racing all the way through the field. Really good stuff at the front.
Yeah, it was, mate, and up 18 spots on your 20th starting position. So no mean feat there from the number 6 Southern Stars entry outfit, mate. Of course, we'll give you the same opportunity as Darren. Big shout out to those sponsors and teammates, everyone involved with your second place tonight.
Yeah, look, all the guys on the Southern Stars, we are a team, and it's not just Darren and I that have gotten on the podium. We've also got the other guys in the team that have been an inaugural part. We've got Adam, Andy, Shorey, and of course, Darren at the front as well. We've been working together pretty hard. And then also to the other boys in the field, the rest of the players in the field. I mean, it's great to have a 40-car field. Pretty amazing, really. And it was a bit of a hiccup at the start, but hey, we got through it. I remember at the start of the race, before we went to qualifying, I said to the boys, hey, worst place I want to be, I don't want to be mid-pack. Where do I end up starting? 20th. So go figure on that one.
Yeah, mate, generally put a jinx on yourself when you do that. I know I do anyway. Paul would probably second that one, but it worked out for you anyway, mate. I bet you a lot of those cautions early helped you out as well, keep the car clean for a little bit longer. But congratulations once again on your P2 for round 2 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series.
Thanks, boys.
No worries at all. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Your second place getter tonight, the number 6 Southern Stars Racing entry of Tom Pritchard, which moves us straight to, you could say, a little bit of a controversial race winner tonight, but he's a race driver, and a race win's a race win, and as Darren said, he would have done the same thing. So we move straight across to the 21 Pinnacle Esports pilot and your winner, Justin Witcher, mate. A nice win there, mate.
Yeah, thanks, boys.
Aiden, I've just got to ask you. Did you pull his chair out of the skip bin?
Well, it's actually down next to the spider that I killed earlier, so I'm going nowhere near it. So you're sitting on the floor tonight, Justin. I'm sorry.
I was just about to say the floor I'm sitting on feels warm, so.
You're right, mate. You're right. You can sit on the floor. But no, in all seriousness, great job tonight. I know there was a little bit of contact there through 3 and 4, or the exit of 4 at the end of that one. And as I said to Darren, we won't focus on that. You had to keep your 21 Pinnacle Esports car up there to be in the position to win the motor race anyway, and you did just that, mate.
Yeah, last lap, I think it's a pure NASCAR move. Balls to the wall. Everyone's flat out last lap, last corner. So, if someone sort of checks up in front of you, there's not much you can do. Well, that's how I was seeing it. But, yeah, it was good to come from the back and come all the way through.
Well, it looked like with about a lap to go, I was pretty much calling Darren home for the win, because it seemed like you just had that gap a little bit too far away with 2 to go, but you definitely ranged up onto the back of Darren down the back stretch for the final time. Then you had a couple of lap cars involved in that one as well. Did you think going into the final lap you were going to get close enough to be able to get that run on Darren out of the 4th turn?
Well, Greg will vouch for this because he was talking to me and he said, I think you need to make your move into turn 1 and 2 or do something different than what I was doing. But I said, no, I'm lining him up for just a tri-oval in the last corner to sneak the nose down the inside. And that was about 5 laps to go. But, yeah, it was probably panic station. It was about or 2 or 3 to go because he did have that gap, and I couldn't work out, dropping back to fourth, keeping it in fifth, how he was staying so far ahead, and I had the draft. So, I sort of, the speed just came out of nowhere in that last lap and a half. And then, like I said, you come into turn 3, 4 on the last lap. Of course, you just got to keep your foot in it and see where you end up.
Well, lucky you didn't listen to Greg. Greg's been a part of everything today. He was part of the commentary early on when I had a chat to him today, and we played the interview I did with him today. He was in the wall twice. He was in our stream chatting to us during the race when he was in pit lane answering trivia questions, and he was talking to you through the broadcast. Is there anything that Greg can't do, mate?
He's a man of many talents.
But it's all about you tonight, mate, the winner of round 2 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. Mate, big shout out to those sponsors, teammates, everyone involved.
Witcher Electrics, Speech and Voice Development, I think it is. Carworks Ballarat. I'm just trying to think of who else. 186. Fortunately, we don't have the paint scheme to go on the car tonight, but it's coming. Yeah, I haven't made the phone call yet, so we'll get that all on. But thanks to those boys, and then thanks to my teammates Greg, Raymond, Matt, and Nige. As Tom touched on before, it doesn't matter who's on the top step as long as the team's up there. It's a team win.
Yeah, most definitely, mate. Well said, and well-deserved win here for, like I said, which was round 2 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. That'll be good for you in the championship. But before we get across to that, Justin, and we'll let you go, feel free to hang around here and have a listen to us chinwag for the next couple of minutes as we wrap up the broadcast, or go back and have a chat to Greg, or whatever you want to do, mate. But Paul, we'll just jump across, if we can, and have a look at the championship standings provisionally before we go into what will be the announcement for the Inside Lane Productions driver of the night, if we've got those championship standings available, mate. So we'll just wait for them to come up in front of you. So provisionally, and the man is in the booth at the moment, so provisionally on top of the championship after round 2 is your race winner tonight from Pinnacle Esports, Justin Witcher, on 65 points. A man that's been very used to being at the point of championships at the moment. Brad Fenley has moved up 4 positions to take the provisional second place on 60 points, with Kobe Jordan sitting there in third on 56 points. Andy Barber, ever consistent there, tied in third on 56 points, with Norman Clark out of New Zealand rounding out your top 5 on 54. Tristan Kosh, after a very solid night tonight, jumping up 8 positions. He'll be in 6th position in the championship on 53 points after tonight. Michael Budge there will be in 7th place on 50 points. Dave Oliver, his teammate, in 8th spot there in 48 points, not to be outdone by Jamie Nankervis in the 18 entry in 9th spot there on 48 points. And rounding out your 10, the leader of the championship coming into the round, who unfortunately could not make it behind the wheel of his race car tonight, which is the number 90 Pinnacle Esports entry of Nigel Payton. So he will round out the top 10 for what was round 2 of the Texas Motor Speedway here on the InterSim Esports Network, of course, for simrigs.com. So the ladies and gentlemen and all the viewers tuning in to us here on Facebook or YouTube, go through and find where their favourite drivers are here in the championship. It's come that time of night, once all these standings and everything roll through for the viewers, that we have to announce, or you do rather, because I threw you under the bus and said you can decide who that's going to be tonight, who the Inside Lane Productions driver of the night will be here for round 2 at Texas Motor Speedway.
Well, thanks for throwing me under the bus, Aiden, once again. And I'm going to say Pete threw me under the bus as well, because he exited the booth like he saw that Huntsman Spider. So I think he must have passed that one on to your house. But Inside Lane Productions driver of the night is going to go to Lachlan Cable. Pretty solid run there, up 31 spots. Finished 4th. So unlucky there. He was looking at a podium finish there, and he just had a solid run all night, I think. So well done, Lachlan, and driver of the night.
I think that is a very solid pick there by Lachlan Capel. I did have him as one of my picks to jump on the podium, and unfortunately he fell just that one step short tonight, but he'll be very happy, the young man, of the number 40 entry, the M&M's outfit that you can see there on screen, ladies and gentlemen, to get the Inside Lane Productions driver of the night. But Paul, that was a sensational night of racing for round 2 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. It's not all said and done here on the Intersim Esports Network for us broadcasting, though, because on Tuesday night we will be bringing you the Blendline TV Pro Car GTE Championship here on the Intersim Esports Network once again, and our location is Long Beach in the United States. So we go from Brands Hatch in the UK last Tuesday to Long Beach in the United States, the concrete jungle. So I'm sure the guys are going to be getting a lot of practice in their 992 cars around that track before we bring you that to you next Tuesday night. And then, of course, next Friday night, we are going to bring you round 3 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series. And our location is the Kansas Speedway. So the Kansas Speedway, a 2-lane track. Interesting to see how these NASCAR Next Gens run around the Kansas Motor Speedway. But ladies and gentlemen, everyone tuning in to the Intersim Esports Network here across Facebook or YouTube, we thank you so much for tuning in to us tonight. We look forward to seeing you next week. I believe, Paul, you just jumped in my ear.
Yeah, so I think I left everyone hanging there to my trivia question, so we better wrap that one up as well. Driver with the most wins without a championship, Mark Martin.
Oh, there we go. I totally forgot we didn't get the answer to that. So there we go. We've jumped from Intersim Esports Network again to Intersim Trivia. And that podcast actually sounds like a really good idea. So that's something we need to think about. That could take off. But anyway, there we go. There's the answer to that. Mark Martin, he was the number 5 entry and a really great driver. But there's the answer to that trivia. But once again, that wraps up round 2 of the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series from Texas Motor Speedway. As I said, you can catch us on Tuesday night for the Blendline TV Pro Car GTE Championship from Long Beach here from 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, or 7:30 p.m. if you're in the southern states for daylight saving time. And then we'll see you back here from the same time, same place, next Friday night for the simrigs.com NASCAR Next Gen Series from the Kansas Motor Speedway. From myself, Paul, and everyone from the Intersim Esports Network, thank you for tuning in here on your Friday night, and we look forward to seeing you on Tuesday night. Have a good one.